Chapter 660. Ling Ying and Han Chuxue went to take a shower together. They were afraid that if one of them went to take a shower while the other was with Lin Xian, they would definitely be bullied to death by him. Therefore, the two of them still chose to take a shower together. But Lin Xian didn't care. One was bullying, two was also bullying. Bullying all of them together was more fun. Tell me, what could the three of them do in their pajamas when the lights in the room were turned off and the three of them finished showering? What could they do? Plus, they had already done something. It wasn't hard to guess what they would do. Were these two girls naive enough to think that they wouldn't do anything? At this moment, in the bathroom, the two girls were sincerely looking at each other. Han Chuxue was helping Ling Ying wipe her fair back. Chuxue, do you think that bastard Lin Xian is plotting something? I have a feeling that it's not as simple as he said.
Obviously, the three of them together might not seem like anything to them, but if they were to think about it from the perspective of a man, a normal man, this Lin Xian definitely didn't have good intentions.
Han Chuxue nodded. Probably. The two girls were also a bit strange. They clearly felt that Lin Xian didn't have good intentions, but they still agreed. What kind of logic was this? But he might not dare, right? Han Chuxue said again. Is there anything he doesn't dare to do? Why don't you think about what he asked me to bring? A bottle of red wine worth 320,000 yuan. The alcohol content of this red wine isn't low either. Ling Ying's beautiful eyes flashed with a sly light. Han Chuxue, I bet you that he will definitely ask us to drink later. Do you believe me? Sure enough, Ling Ying understood Lin Xian better. Probably. I don't believe that this bastard doesn't have any ulterior motives. I won't let him get away with it. Ling Ying then walked out of the bathtub and pushed Han Chuxue in. Now I'll help you wipe it. Don't tickle me. Ha ha ha. Perhaps this was the scene that Lin Xian wanted to see even in his dreams. Unfortunately, he couldn't see it. However, the laughter coming from the bathroom was really unbearable. After about 20 minutes, the two girls came out in bathrobes. Logically speaking, this scene was simply too beautiful. Ling Ying was a bit more magnanimous and didn't seem to mind. On the other hand, Han Chuxue, who was usually cold and elegant, blushed slightly and was a bit reserved. Girls like her were very cold, but if you could win her heart, then you would be able to see things that no one else could. Hey, you blinked. Ling Ying glared at Lin Xian. He didn't know if this guy was looking at him longer or at Han Chuxue. Girls were all like this. Lin Xian coughed dryly. Chuxue and I are going to change into our pajamas. You can go in and take a shower. Ling Ying said. All right, I'll go. Then Lin Xian ran into the bathroom. Smells good. Lin Xian's voice of enjoyment could be heard. Pervert. Ling Ying muttered and then changed into pajamas with Han Chuxue. After 5 minutes, Lin Xian came out. The speed at which the boy and the girl took their showers was obvious. The former seemed to be enjoying it while the latter seemed to be coping with it. The moment Lin Xian came out, there were 2 screams. This person didn't even have time to see clearly before 2 pillows were thrown at him. Pervert. Pervert. The 2 girls said one after another, their little faces completely red. Because Lin Xian, this guy, F*CK. Lin Xian awkwardly scratched his head. Hurry up and go back. Ling Ying clenched her teeth. This person was really strange. The more shy she was, the more she wanted to peek. Lin Xian awkwardly said, there are only 2 bathrobes. This is a couple's suite, everything is for 2 people. Both of you are wearing it, but I don't have it. What can I do? Lin Xian said, feeling wronged. Take it away. Then Ling Ying threw the bathrobe she was wearing to Lin Xian, covering Lin Xian's entire body. It smells good. The 2 girls. How did they fall in love with this bastard? There were so many good men in the world, and they just happened to fall in love with this one. They even wanted to share him with other girls. Then Lin Xian walked out with the bathrobe wrapped around him. There were no pajamas, so Lin Xian could only wrap himself in the bathrobe and jump onto the bed. Han Chuxue and Ling Ying, the two lighter girls, almost flew up. They couldn't help but roll their eyes. Play cards, play cards, play cards. Lin Xian snapped his fingers, looking like he was about to start a war. Han Chuxue and Ling Ying were both stunned. Looking at Lin Xian's excited expression, he couldn't possibly be here purely to play cards, right? It can't be, right? Logically speaking, it shouldn't be, but wasn't he a bit too excited? Inexplicably, the two girls were actually a bit disappointed. How could you guess a woman's thoughts? What do you want to play? Ling Ying took out the poker cards and asked while shuffling them. The simplest game, fight the landlord. How do you calculate the money? Ling Ying asked. Lin Xian thought for a bit and said, You two are also fair, rich, and beautiful, right? Nonsense, authentic fair, rich, and beautiful. Anyway, the two of them didn't lack money, and what Lin Xian had was theirs, and what they had was also Lin Xian's. It was just for fun. Moreover, playing cards was just a cover. Once they got high, what couldn't they do? Then, 5,000 yuan each, double the bomb, double the face cards, double the face cards, can you afford it? How about 10,000? Ling Ying said generously. Lin Xian, amazing, even more amazing than him. Okay, 10,000 it is. Looks like I can become a millionaire tonight. Lin Xian rubbed his hands and said, Humph. Ling Ying smiled disdainfully. Ling Ying and I aren't bad at playing cards. Han Chuxue said. In the past, they would be very bored and would often play cards. In fact, the most common card they played was not this kind of card, but there was a Happy Do Dijou game on their phones. There would be a total of 3 people playing in the game, which was quite interesting. Therefore, of course, they had the skills, but they were definitely not too good. Then don't cry when you lose money later. Lin Xian smiled and took out his phone. But, a bomb plus 10,000, don't double it. Okay. Let's create a group and prepare to send red packets. Then, they entered a group. This was a group that all of them were in. In addition to the 3 of them, there was also Lin Ye, Xiao Runing, Miao Xiao Miao, Wang Xintong, Lu Yufan, and Yi Yi. Later, Lin Ye pulled Murong Qing into the group. Oh right, Ling Long Shui and the other 2 were also in the group. In short, Lin Xian was the only man, and the others were all girls related to Lin Xian. Most of them were top-grade beauties, and most of them were pulled in by Lin Xian. It could be considered a family group. However, they didn't chat too much in the group. Lin Xian also rarely took the initiative to initiate discussions because he was afraid that the conversation would break down. Chapter 661. Then, of course, they got what they wanted. The 3 of them drank the entire bottle of red wine. Because this type of red wine had been brewed for a long time, its alcohol content was indeed getting higher and higher. Moreover, the most powerful thing was the aftereffect. Once the aftereffect kicked in, the 2 girls' pretty faces were flushed. As for winning or losing in the game of cards, it was no longer important to Lin Xian. He deliberately lost some money to make them happy, and it was indeed effective. It was already 3 in the morning. To be honest, after playing for a few hours, they felt that it wasn't very interesting anymore. Moreover, they felt dizzy. Ling Ying didn't use his spirit force to dissolve the alcohol because he wanted to see what Lin Xian was up to. It was difficult to pretend to be drunk, so they simply drank until they were a bit drunk. After finishing that bottle, they drank another one. When the aftereffect kicked in, they really did feel dizzy. I'm not playing anymore, I'm going to sleep. Ling Ying yawned. He was so sleepy that he completely forgot what he wanted to do. Then, he wrapped himself in a blanket and fell asleep. Han Chuxue was much better than Ling Ying. Ling Ying could be said to be impetuous and brainless, but Han Chuxue was much better. Hee hee, little Chuxue, Ling Ying is asleep. Let's do something else? Although Han Chuxue was cold, she was the type of person who was incomparably accommodating to Lin Xian. I drank too much, let's sleep. Han Chushue bit her lips and said softly, "Okay, let's sleep." Lin Xian threw the poker cards on the ground and hugged Han Chushue. Han Chushue. As expected, this Lin Xian didn't have good intentions. However, Ling Ying was asleep and she didn't know how to refuse. This Ling Ying was even more unreliable than Lin Xian. Just now, he said that he wanted to see what Lin Xian was up to. How did he fall asleep? That night, Lin Xian received tens of millions of Adonis points. Although she was his girlfriend, if the three of them did it together, this kind of behavior still gave Lin Xian a lot of Adonis points. Ling Ying really drank too much and underestimated the after-effects of the wine. When she was particularly muddle-headed, she didn't think of using spiritual energy to get rid of the drunkenness. Her subconscious action was to sleep, so she, lost to herself, helping Lin Xian achieve his goal. What was this called? He had shot himself in the foot and dug a hole for himself. What about Lin Xian? There was no need to say anything else. One word. Comfortable. The next morning, Lin Xian slept soundly. Even the drunk Ling Ying woke up, and his first reaction was, "Oh no. Why was she so sleepy?" Then, she sat up and looked at everything around her. Then, she started to doubt her life. She hit her head and looked at Lin Xian, who was sleeping soundly. His big hand was not obedient on Han Chushue's body. She really wanted to slap him and wake him up. But, Ling Ying sighed and then lay down quietly. It was already like this. What else could she do? Just sleep. Anyway, she wasn't awake yet. Lin Xian was really in a deep sleep. He was exhausted last night. Moreover, Lin Xian was in a deep sleep. He was not alert at all and did not release any divine sense. To put it simply, if an ordinary person sneaked in and killed Lin Xian, he would probably die in his sleep. The main thing was that it was too comfortable. Lin Xian also enjoyed this rare peaceful time. For example, at home, when he slept with Linya, he had to be more vigilant. But when he slept with them, he inexplicably felt that they were also very powerful. There shouldn't be any big problems, right? Moreover, this was Murong Qing's territory. Murong Qing always stayed at the top floor of Rose Heaven, in a huge room that belonged only to her. With her around, no one would dare to be presumptuous here, right? At this moment, there was a knock on Murong Qing's room. The lobby manager brought a few beautiful women to deliver breakfast to her. Just send it in. Murong Qing put on her clothes and sat there playing with her phone. She looked at the chat records in the group last night with interest. Last night, she went to bed early, so she did not participate in the chat. President Murong, this is yesterday's sales. The lobby manager respectfully handed over a list. Murong Qing casually glanced at it. Oh. Who ate more than 2 million yuan at one table last night? This kind of situation was rare. Murong Qing was a little interested. Even in Tiandu, it was rare to see such a situation. President Murong, your friend brought people to eat together. My friend? Murong Qing frowned and looked at him. Young Master Lin. Murong Qing. Lin Xian. The lobby manager nodded. He was very nervous, afraid that Murong Qing would blame him for accepting money. But later on, another person paid for them. Murong Qing rubbed her delicate chin. What kind of girls did Lin Xian bring to eat? 2, both very beautiful. Murong Qing, this Lin Xian. Also, they did not leave here last night. Murong Qing, you mean the 3 of them live here? The lobby manager nodded. Okay, I got it. You can leave. Yes. Then, Murong Qing's lips curled up slightly, revealing a thought-provoking smile. This Lin Xian is really something. He brought 2 beautiful girls with him? And in the same room? She wanted to see who it was. In the room, Ling Ying and Han Chushue had already showered and put on their clothes. The 2 girls did not talk much because they did not know what to talk about. Lin Xian also woke up. He scratched his head and looked at the Prince Charming points. He was very satisfied. Let's go, I'm starving. It's time for lunch. Ling Ying and Han Chushue put on their clothes and glared at Lin Xian. They did not mention what happened last night. Although it happened once, this was the second time. But it was so awkward that no one brought it up. My waist hurts. Lin Xian rubbed his waist and said. The two girls. Don't tell me, you can't do it? Ling Ying showed a worried expression. That would not do. She would not allow it. Han Chushue also looked at Lin Xian with concern. Ha ha ha, I'm just kidding. My waist is very good, I believe you know it very well. Lin Xian laughed. Get lost. Ling Ying threw a sofa pillow at him. Go go go, it's already noon, let's go for lunch. It was already noon. Lin Xian believed that Morong Qing must have gone to the Art Xian group to work. In the main hall, the three of them sat together for lunch. Lin Xian casually glanced around and suddenly shuddered. Not far from him, there was a beautiful figure sitting there leisurely drinking coffee with a smile on her face. Morong Qing. She also looked over. Not bad. It was actually Ling Ying and Han Chushue. Chapter 662. From Lin Xian's point of view, Morong Qing was sitting there on purpose. The smile on her lips when she was drinking the tea had already explained something. Although he did tell her that these two girls were his girlfriends, it was said in a joking tone. Naturally, Morong Qing did not believe that they were really Lin Xian's girlfriends. If one of them was, there might be a little possibility, but she felt that the possibility was not high. After all, Morong Qing knew the identity of Ling Ying and Han Chushue. They were the daughters of two of the 8 great families in Tiandu. It could be said that there were countless suitors in Tiandu. If one of them fell in love with Lin Xian, then there was indeed such a possibility, but both of them fell in love with Lin Xian? The possibility was too small, and they even booked a room together. This, therefore, Morong Qing felt that there must be some kind of misunderstanding. But she didn't know what it was, so she was very curious. Usually, she would be too lazy to care about such things. She didn't understand why she was so curious when it came to Lin Xian. Isn't that Sister Qing? Ling Ying and the others also saw Morong Qing. Their relationship with Morong Qing was not bad. They met at a banquet, and then fought side by side during the disaster of Tiandu City. Anyway, everyone was in the same group, and there were people in the group who knew each other. Their relationship would not be too bad, mainly because they were Lin Xian's girlfriends. I'll go say hello, you guys eat first. In order to avoid awkwardness, Lin Xian did not let them go over, and then went over alone. Hey, beauty, are you lonely? Lin Xian sat next to Morong Qing and poured himself a cup of tea without hesitation. Morong Qing took a sip, and then looked at Lin Xian. I don't know if I'm lonely or not, but I know that you are definitely not lonely. Cough cough. Lin Xian coughed dryly. If I say that all of this is a misunderstanding, would you believe me? Morong Qing smiled and said, then tell me first and see if I believe it or not. Lin Xian shrugged and said, the three of us were playing cards last night. We played all night. Morong Qing was also Lin Xian's target. She also needed to be captured by Lin Xian. If she really knew that Lin Xian had other girlfriends, how could he capture her? Moreover, Morong Qing's mission was related to the 3rd Department of Commerce, which Lin Xian cared a lot about. From the first shopping center to the second shopping center, there was a huge gap between the items and the rarer they were. It was obvious that the items in the 3rd shopping center would be scarier than those in the 2nd shopping center. In Lin Xian's opinion, the items in the 2nd shopping center were already heaven-defying. As for the 3rd shopping center, therefore, Lin Xian wouldn't have cared if it wasn't the mission objective. Therefore, he had to explain himself. Really? Morong Qing's lips curled and looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded, of course. If you don't believe me, take a look at the group. We were chatting in it. We were playing cards and even sending red packets. Morong Qing nodded, well, that makes sense. Let me see, the first red packet was sent at midnight. Then we started chatting. After chatting for half an hour, the rest were your red packets. They were sent until 3 o'clock in the morning. That is to say, you guys stopped at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Lin Xian, wow.
This woman was too smart. We did.
That's because we were afraid that if we posted it in the group, you guys would wake up when you were all asleep. So, the three of us created a new group, and only the three of us posted it in it.
Lin Xian secretly praised himself for his quick reaction. He immediately thought of a perfect answer. That's why, don't misunderstand. Don't spread rumors. I don't care. What's important is the reputation of the two girls. Murongqing nodded. So we played cards until noon. Also, what about the group you created? Let me see. Lin Xian. It's disbanded. We don't play once in 10,000 years. After playing, we disband. What's the point of keeping it? Lin Xian wiped his forehead. Damn. This woman was too smart. Murongqing was like Lin Xian's wife. Then, she suspected that Lin Xian was fooling around outside and questioned him. She didn't seem to notice the change in her attitude. Murongqing's lips curled slightly. Although she felt that the possibility was low, the more Lin Xian explained, the more likely it was. Forget it, she didn't care. So what if she knew? Hey, I'm going to work. You guys can have lunch here. I'll get someone to prepare it for you. It's free. My treat. Murongqing finished speaking and walked away with a smile. Lin Xian breathed a sigh of relief. Many of the things he did were to pave the way for picking up girls in the future. However, if he didn't pave the way, it would be very difficult for him to pick up girls in the future. For example, if Lin Xian were to confess to Xiao Runing and Yi Yi, what do you think the chances of success would be if Lin Xian were to confess to them? Very high. This was the result of Lin Xian's painstaking efforts. Once the mission was triggered, it wouldn't take much effort to complete it. Murongqing, Lin Xian felt that this woman was a little difficult to deal with. The main thing was that he could also cater to other girls' preferences. Or rather, he could change their moods. Even for Linglong Shui and the others, at least Lin Xian had a chance. Because they weren't familiar with the human world, Lin Xian could take them out to play every day and then take advantage of them to cultivate their feelings. Over time, he would have a chance to pick them up. However, although Murongqing wasn't as noble as Linglong Shui, Lin Xian didn't know how to cater to a woman like her. What did she need? What did she want? Lin Xian didn't know these things. Money. She was much richer than Lin Xian now. Power. Sorry, Lin Xian didn't deserve it. Perhaps the only good thing was that she hadn't been in love for so many years. Perhaps she was lonely. If that was the case, then it would be good. However, such a beautiful woman, even if she was lonely, she could easily find an incomparably outstanding man. Compared to those men, Lin Xian was nothing. Sigh, let's take it one step at a time. Fortunately, there's still plenty of time for Murongqing's mission. It's just that Xiao Linglong and the others. That was what Lin Xian was most worried about now. The three of them had about the same amount of time. It was fine to pick up one, but to pick up all three girls who lived together at about the same amount of time? This was a F***King Hell level of difficulty. Although he had cultivated their favorability, it didn't mean that he would be able to get them. There would definitely be a grudge between them or something. Then, Lin Xian walked back. Chapter 663. After Lin Xian finished eating with them, the three of them went to St. Brilliant's Academy together. After all, there really wasn't much to do right now, and they didn't dare to go to the demonic beast territory for the time being. If they were to go together, it would be fine, but Lin Xian didn't agree. Although Han Chuxue and Ling Ying always seemed to be at odds with Lin Xian on the surface, they were still very obedient to Lin Xian. As for the purpose of going to the Sacred Brilliance Academy, to Ling Ying and Han Chuxue, it was to learn new things or to engage in virtual combat. The virtual combat of the Sacred Brilliance Academy was quite impressive. Like the Tianhua Academy, they could at most simulate arcane body realm beasts, but the Sacred Brilliance Academy could even simulate the strength of Thunder Calamity realm beasts. This required a large amount of resources. In this aspect,
the Sacred Brilliance Academy was indeed much better than the Tianhua Academy of the past. They had the strength, and they were two battle maniacs. Since Lin Xian did not allow them to go to the demonic beast domain for the time being, then they would go to virtual combat. They could not play around all the time. In this era, they had to improve themselves non-stop. Lin Xian, when are we going to the demonic beast domain? Ling Ying really wanted to go. Actually, for Thunder Tribulation Realm cultivators like her, the demonic beast domain was no longer dangerous. However, accidents were bound to happen, especially at this time. For safety's sake, she couldn't go for the time being. However, it was not that they could not go. After all, they did not necessarily need to go to the demonic beast domain in Tianhua City. Lin Xian said, "Do you want to go?" "I'm suffocating." Ling Ying rubbed her palms together. "Lin Xian, I haven't seen you shout in a while. You're suffocating. Get lost." Ling Ying directly swept her leg at Lin Xian, but Lin Xian easily dodged it. Han Chuxue also said, "We're all in the Thunder Tribulation Realm now. The Thunder Tribulation Realm is far from enough. I want to advance to the Law Realm as soon as possible. The Law Realm allows one to comprehend the laws. It's an absolute qualitative leap." Indeed, the birth of a martial artist was accompanied by their attributes, but once a martial artist reached the Law Realm, there would be a gap that no other major realm could surpass. Why? It was because of the laws. Once a martial artist reached the law boundary, they would be able to comprehend the laws. Once a martial artist possessed an attribute and a law, the increase in their combat strength would be unimaginable. Of course, this didn't mean that one could obtain a law after reaching the law realm. One needed to comprehend it. It was possible that even if one reached the Empyrean realm, they still wouldn't have a law because they couldn't comprehend it. This was still relatively difficult, but it was not difficult for people with strong talent and comprehension ability. Most of them would comprehend the power of laws above the 5-star law realm and gradually become stronger. For example, Lin Xian and the others had encountered the law realm experts who had come to kill him, but none of them had comprehended the laws. What was this law? You could think of it as another attribute. For example, someone who didn't have the spatial attribute might be able to comprehend the spatial law. However, using the law was definitely much more difficult than using the attribute. In addition to space and time, there might also be something like the law of gravity and the law of flight. That's right, one could directly fly through the air and escape into the ground. In any case, these things all depended on one's own comprehension. Of course, there were also differences in the strength of the laws. Lin Xian also wanted to advance to the law realm. Comprehending the laws was too important. Therefore, for some martial artists with mediocre attributes of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, the law realm was also an opportunity for them to become more powerful. And reaching the domain realm was another natural moat. That's right, as the name implied, once one reached the domain realm, they would be able to comprehend a domain. Of course, this wasn't absolute. For example, if one comprehended the spatial law and reached the domain realm, one's domain might not necessarily be a spatial effect domain. It might also be time, and one would also need to comprehend it. However, almost 99% of martial artists would have a domain related to their own laws. Of course, the premise was that one had to comprehend a law before they could produce a domain. In short, in the realms of cultivation, the law realm and domain realm were the two most important realms. It determined what kind of power and how powerful one's combat strength would be in the future. This was also the reason why the difference in combat strength between two celestial venerables of the same star rank could be so great. It was very simple. One of them comprehended the trashiest law and domain, such as a sea of fire, while the other released a domain of death or something like that. This wasn't about the same level of combat strength. Their combat strength might be about the same before, but it was this law and domain that directly made them people of two different worlds. It was very important. Then how about we relax for a night and go together tomorrow night? Lin Xian asked. All right, how do we relax? Lin Xian's lips curled up. Relax like you did last night. The two women. You. Ling Ying pointed at Lin Xian, so angry that he couldn't speak.
Han Chushue's face flushed red. Humph. If the two of you don't serve me well tonight, don't even think about going to the demonic beast domain. Lin Xian said arrogantly. You don't want us to go, so we can't go? I'm not bringing you, Chushue and I will go by ourselves. Ling Ying said angrily. Of course, he was just saying that. If Lin Xian didn't let them go, or if Lin Xian wasn't there, they would really listen to Lin Xian. After all, a man's sovereignty still existed. You dare? Lin Xian glared at him. Humph. Afraid of you? Ling Ying glared back at him without the slightest bit of fear. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. All right, I admit defeat, okay? Lin Xian smiled helplessly. Humph. That's more like it. Ling Ying proudly raised his little head. Little did he know that if he was arrogant now, he would be begging for mercy tonight. To Lin Xian, this was also good news. They didn't agree with Lin Xian going alone to harm them, but he did it again last night. If this continued, everyone would slowly get used to it and accept it, and then, that would be Lin Xian's heaven. Then, the three of them chatted as they arrived at St. Brilliance Academy. When the students of St. Brilliance Academy saw this scene, they all stared at each other in shock, completely dumbfounded. Wow! This Lin Xian went to school with Ling Ying and Han Chushue? Yesterday, they were still on bad terms. Although Lin Xian admitted his mistake, looking at them, it's obvious that they went out to eat and came back together. Damn! This Lin Xian really ate with them? Awesome! What an amazing person! I'm convinced. Saint of Love, this is AF * King Saint of Love. Everyone exclaimed. Chapter 664. Ling Ying and Han Chushue didn't care about these opinions. However, when they arrived at St. Brilliance Academy, they would at most remain as friends. Chushue and I are leaving first, you can go have fun by yourself. Ling Ying finished speaking and walked away with Han Chushue. This scene was seen by Liao Zhibong from afar. His eyes flashed with ruthlessness. His brother told him not to make a move on Lin Xian and to leave this matter to him. Moreover, even if he wanted to make a move, he wasn't Lin Xian's opponent, so he could only swallow his anger. F***CK. F***CK. Lu Zhengyi and a few of his lackeys just happened to see this scene and ran over in shock. Master, what's the situation? You guys. Lu Zhengyi stammered as he moved to Lin Xian's side. Oh, we just went out for a meal and watched a movie, nothing much. Lin Xian said indifferently. Lu Zhengyi. That's? F***CK this. How awesome. Master. Can you teach me today? Lu Zhengyi asked excitedly. Let's not talk about other things first, and let's not talk about whether or not he could chase after Ling Ying or Han Chushue, but he was actually able to invite them to a meal and watch a movie under disgusted circumstances. With this method, one couldn't help but admire him. Brother Lu, is this Lin Xian? A lackey asked. Lin your head. Call me Brother Xian. Lu Zhengyi slapped him on the head several times. Brother Xian. Hello Brother Xian. Lin Xian said to Lu Zhengyi, Don't call me master, it's awkward. Then Brother Xian. Lu Zhengyi hurriedly called out. Lin Xian coughed and nodded. There was no other way, in their hearts, he was a god, a love saint. In order to get more beautiful girls, they admired Lin Xian from the bottom of their hearts. Lin Xian nodded and then said, Didn't I tell you how to pick up girls that day? You haven't done anything yet? Lu Zhengyi scratched his head. Isn't it because I don't dare? I've never seen you so cowardly before. Cough. Lu Zhengyi coughed dryly and said, Ever since I heard Big Brother Xian talk about how to pick up girls, I realized how stupid I was in the past. Money is useless, money can't buy true love, and then I will be even more easily scared, wanting to properly pursue a girl. Lin Xian nodded, Good luck. If there's anything you don't understand, come ask me. As for the rest, just do as I told you before. Also, your level isn't high enough, so don't try to use the more difficult methods to avoid backfiring. Also, don't try to chase after girls who are more difficult. Your level isn't high enough.
Yes, I understand.
Then in Brother Xian's opinion, what kind of girl can I pursue? Lu Zhengyi asked piously. That's right, there was a hint of piety in his eyes.
This was amazing.
Lin Xian said, the school belle isn't hard to chase, but Lu Yufan and the others are all mine, so don't even think about it. As for Ling Ying and the others, their levels are too high, so you won't be able to chase after them. Other than them, the other school belle shouldn't be hard to chase after. Don't chase those cold and aloof ones, those who are a bit younger, 18 or 19 years old.
Got it.
I want to level up now, I already know what to do. Lin Xian, didn't this raise a scumbag? No, Lin Xian didn't think that what he said was right.
A lot of things seem to make sense, but they all happened to Lin Xian, and some were even deceiving people.
This Lu Zhengyi might not be able to do it. So there shouldn't be any problems.
Moreover, when two people were in a relationship, they might not like each other very much at the beginning, but normally speaking, they would like each other more and more.
This was a situation during a relationship. If he pursued his true love in this way, it would not be a bad thing.
Good luck.
Lin Xian patted Lu Zhengyi's shoulder, then walked away. Lu Zhengyi secretly clenched his fist, looking like he was very eager to fight.
Lin Xian returned to the classroom, and Wang Xintong sat quietly in the corner, reading a book. Her personality was relatively quiet, but it was also a bit of a loner. The reason was probably because of her brother's incident.
She preferred to quietly read like this.
Because of Lin Xian's incident, she didn't have any pursuers for the time being.
It wasn't like before, when many people would come to give her milk tea or something.
However, because of Lin Xian, at most, she had a bunch of people who had a crush on her.
But since they knew that she had a boyfriend, almost no one came to confess to her. Although everyone felt that it was a bit ridiculous, hugging left and right.
Was it an act?
That's right, when everyone calmed down, they felt that it should be an act.
Otherwise, it would be too fake.
Even if they really didn't mind, they wouldn't be so high profile.
There were still their families. But even so, the effect was indeed there. Moreover, after Lin Xian's incident and Ling Ying's incident, the current Saint of Love in Saint Brilliant's Academy was indeed worthy of the name.
Now, those people were calling Lin Xian a Saint of Love. Why don't you go play? Lin Xian walked in, sat beside Wang Xintong, and put his hand on Wang Xintong's hand.
Of course, this scene was seen by many people.
Acting?
Was this really an act?
It shouldn't be. If it was an act, then how could Wang Xintong be taken advantage of by Lin Xian?
They didn't quite understand.
I still prefer to read books in peace,
Wang Xintong said with a red face. She was still not used to being intimate with Lin Xian in front of others.
She felt very shy. Even if the two of them were alone, she was still very shy. But this made her even more shy. You should play more with Yi and the others.
Wang Xintong nodded. I know.
Do you still go to Uncle Qin's place? Lin Xian asked with concern. Wang Xintong nodded. I go, but not as often as before.
Uncle Qin said that my martial arts and combat skills are not bad now.
He said that I won't improve much if I continue to train.
He means that I should participate more in actual combat to become stronger.
Lin Xian rubbed his chin. Then wait for a while. It's not very peaceful outside during this period. You can't rush it.
Wang Xintong nodded. Yes, I know.
Give me a kiss. Lin Xian then moved his face closer.
The surrounding students all clenched their fists.
F***CK. Wang Xintong blushed.
No, there are people around. Lin Xian smiled.
Then let's go to the field and kiss. That's right, the field was a sacred place. Every night, those couples would walk to the field hand in hand, and then some would hug and kiss.
No.
Wang Xintong pouted. It was so embarrassing, and they still wanted to kiss. Chapter 665.
Lin Xian was just teasing Wang Xintong.
How could he kiss her in front of so many people? Okay, I won't tease you anymore. Lin Xian smiled. At this moment, someone walked towards Lin Xian tentatively. Lin Xian. No, Casanova, there's something I'd like to ask you. A student said embarrassedly. Lin Xian. Was he so popular now? Following this person's question, the surroundings were suddenly filled with people. Yeah, Casanova, teach us too. We don't want to be single. Yeah, we don't have the ambition to chase after the campus belle, but we just want to pursue a girlfriend. Please teach us. Lin Xian. Ahem. Lin Xian coughed dryly, and the group of people suddenly quieted down. Then, Lin Xian glanced at the crowd and said, There's no such thing as a Casanova. There's no such thing as a way to pursue a girl. It all depends on sincerity. I can't teach you this kind of thing. Everyone, please return to your seats. Nonsense, Lu Zhengyi learned it from you. Someone shouted. He gave you a few million as a learning fee. Give me the same, and I'll teach you immediately. What about these people? What would happen if Lin Xian taught them? That's right, Lin Xian would be followed by a group of people asking him questions wherever he went. Therefore, if he rejected them directly, there wouldn't be any problems. At most, there would be a few rich people, and then he could scam them. Hearing Lin Xian's words, those people were terrified. How many families were willing to pay a few million just to chase after girls? Okay, everyone, you can leave. At this moment, Xiao Runing walked in. She looked at Lin Xian helplessly. She already knew that this bastard would not have a peaceful time at St. Brilliant Academy. On the first day, he hugged girls left and right, beat up Liao Zhibang, and caused all kinds of trouble. However, she was used to it. If he was quiet, he wouldn't be Lin Xian. After the first class, Wang Haiyang walked in to look for Lin Xian. Originally, he wanted to invite Lin Xian for a meal, but Lin Xian didn't want to go. So, Lin Xian casually bragged for a while and gave him some advice. Wang Haiyang listened very seriously and sincerely. As for whether Lin Xian could catch up with Wang Haiyang, that was naturally impossible. When the time came, Wang Haiyang wouldn't suspect Lin Xian. He would just think that Lin Xian was not capable enough. As for Lin Xian, he came to St. Brilliant Academy mainly for the secret territory. He didn't think about anything else. It wasn't time for the competition to enter the secret territory yet. In fact, there wasn't much meaning for Lin Xian to stay in the academy. He only came because he could play with the girls and keep them company. Lin Xian didn't want to pay attention to that Wang Haiyang going after Han Chuxue. When he failed, Lin Xian could go and earn a second wave of money. Right now, Lin Xian felt like he had nothing to do. No one else could be like him. As for the Azura Palace, Lin Xian probably had a grudge with them. After all, he beat up the left and right hands of the White Tiger Hall's hall master. However, the Azura Palace couldn't openly attack Lin Xian. They couldn't even attack the Yaxien group. After all, they didn't dare to touch the Yaxien group's business. This was a business supported by the whole continent. If they destroyed the shop, it would attract the dissatisfaction of the people of the continent. Therefore, they must be looking for an opportunity to attack Lin Xian. At the very least, they must get back at him. During lunch in the cafeteria, Lin Xian sat alone with Wang Xintong, Yi Yi, and Lu Yufan, the three campus belles. The hateful gazes around them were too much, but Lin Xian was used to it. Especially when they saw the three campus belles give some of their food to Lin Xian. This further confirmed the closeness between them. After Lu Zhengyi finished getting his food, he came over and sat beside Lin Xian. Normally, he wouldn't eat in the cafeteria. He would go out to eat. However, because Lin Xian was here, he came. Brother Xian, have you heard about something? Lu Zhengyi wanted to curry favor with Lin Xian. He took the initiative to get closer to Lin Xian. What? Lin Xian looked at Lu Zhengyi suspiciously. Today, no, last night, the Holy Dragon Flame Cave erupted. Dozens of volcanoes erupted. It's simply spectacular. Holy Dragon Flame Cave? Lin Xian had heard of this name before. It was a very powerful place with a lot of fire attributes. Once, Lin Xian also wanted to go there, but why didn't he go? It seemed that the place was quite dangerous, and the terrain was extremely complicated. The main reason was that there was a fire attribute dragon there. This was the most important thing. Let's not talk about what attribute it was a dragon, the top existence among demon beasts. Almost no one had ever seen a creature like a dragon. Most of the dragons were neutral existences, but if you disturbed its peace and it attacked, then you couldn't blame anyone. This place had been visited by people over the years. However, no one had ever found a dragon, nor were there any traces of a dragon living there. Therefore, this was just a rumor. Why did it erupt? Lin Xian frowned. He still cared a lot about that place. Firstly, it was related to dragons. Secondly, it was a place with an extremely rich fire attribute. Lin Xian needed a place with rich attributes because as long as he could find it, as long as there was a strong heaven and earth spiritual energy, then he could absorb it and unlock the attribute power after absorbing it. Among all his attributes, only the thunder attribute could be achieved in this way. The space attribute was also considered as well. The poison attribute was also obtained by himself, and the ice attribute was given by Bing Lingyue's mission. Therefore, Lin Xian couldn't only rely on missions. He had to fight for it himself. He didn't think about other things first. First, he had to get the attributes. Who knows? Maybe the legendary dragon there has awoken? Ha ha ha, anyway, it's all kinds of volcanic eruptions. This is real, and it has been continuing. It's probably erupting now. Sigh, I really want to go, but unfortunately, my strength doesn't allow me. I'm afraid that the weakest person there is in the Thunder Tribulation realm. Lu Jingyi sighed. Strength was a shortcoming. Needless to say, Lin Xian was really tempted. Volcanic eruptions? Lin Xian heard that although the volcanoes there were active volcanoes, if dozens of volcanoes erupted at the same time, then there was obviously something abnormal going on. If it was one volcano erupting, then it might be normal. If it was two volcanoes, then it would be fine. But dozens, even an idiot would know. Something must have happened there. Should he go? Lin Xian was struggling. He was going to go out with Han Chuxue and the others to level up. This was a good opportunity, but there were two problems. First, it was in the territory of the beasts, and the direction was very far away from Tianhua City. It wasn't in the other direction of Lin and City that they wanted to go to. In addition, Tianhua City had just fallen. The road might be dangerous, extremely dangerous. Second, the Holy Dragon Flame Cave was definitely very dangerous. Chapter 666. Humans were just like that. Even though they knew it was dangerous, once their curiosity and interest were piqued, they would subconsciously go to that place. Lin Xian had indeed warned them not to go to Tianhua City's demonic beast territory during this period of time. When they went out to grind levels tomorrow night, they would only grind levels in an area between Lin and City and the city that was further in the heart of the demonic beast territory. That area was actually human territory, while Tianhua City was the true demonic beast territory. It was just that there were many demonic beasts there, but the level of danger was indeed much lower. Is there any other news? Lin Xian asked. Lu Zhengyi scratched his head. He just came over to find a topic to chat with Lin Xian. Why did he take it so seriously? There's no news. Many experts have gone over to check out the situation. We don't know the specifics, but a few experts from my family went over last night and haven't returned yet. I hope nothing bad happened. I heard from my family that the spiritual energy of heaven and earth there seems to be thicker. Lin Xian raised his eyebrows. Is it reliable? Of course, this is not a secret. Any special place, once linked to the heaven and earth spiritual energy, there would be two things. First, heaven and earth spiritual treasures. Second, powerful demonic beasts. He hoped it was the former. Okay, I got it. Thanks. It's no big deal. Lu Zhengyi didn't know why Lin Xian wanted to thank him. He didn't think that Lin Xian would go there. However, even though only Lightning Tribulation Realm cultivators could enter, there were still many Profound Heaven Realm cultivators who had gone. Those below the Profound Heaven Realm could forget about it. The so-called Lightning Tribulation Realm cultivators were only considering the safety issue. Even if you were a Qi-building realm cultivator, you could still enter, but there was no guarantee that you would be able to survive halfway or reach the Holy Dragon Flame Cave. Lin Xian, are you going? Lu Yufan and the others understood Lin Xian quite well. Lin Xian asked about their auspicious island, so he definitely had this thought. What? Brother Xian, you're going? Lu Zhangyi showed a surprised expression, and then suddenly understood. That's right, the other party was in the Thunder Tribulation Realm. He could even defeat Liao Zhibang, so what was there to be afraid of? At the very least, he had the qualifications to go there. Moreover, it was a space attribute. To be honest, that kind of place was infinitely attractive to any warrior. It had a powerful elemental attribute, and at the same time, it might be accompanied by heaven and earth spiritual treasures. Obtaining it might be a good fortune. Lin Xian said, I'll think about it. It's not certain. If you're going, I'm going too. Lu Yufan said. Wang Xintong also looked at Lin Xian expectantly. What are you going to do? I'll slap you to death. Lu Yufan then pouted, feeling wronged. Lu Zhengyi was speechless. It turned out that one really couldn't lick a girl's boots when talking to her. This Lin Xian even said something like, I'll slap you to death. Why was he talking to a girl? He even had to be careful not to curse. I've learned. You guys cultivate well. Look at Xintong, she's already in the Profound Heaven Realm. It won't be long before she breaks through to the Thunder Tribulation Realm. What about you two? You're only in the Profound Body Realm. Lin Xian said. One day, I'll become an expert too. Lu Yufan said. Yi also nodded. Then work hard. But it's so dangerous there, Lin Xian said. If it's dangerous, why are you going there? Can you protect me? You might even drag me down. I'm ignoring you. Lu Yufan pouted, then continued eating, not saying a word to Lin Xian. Little girl. Lin Xian said with a smile. Lu Yufan fiercely glared at Lin Xian. After the three girls finished eating, they left together, while Lin Xian was thinking about something. Brother Xian, how's your relationship with Ling Ying going? It's all right. Lin Xian said. We're still betting. You have to catch her in 3 days. Catching up to a goddess of this level in 3 days? That was simply a dream. He might have to chase her for 3 years, but Lin Xian's performance made him feel that it was too amazing. He might not be able to get her in 3 days, but in Lu Zhengyi's opinion, he should be able to get her if he spent more time. Lin Xian nodded. It's simple. There are still 2 days. You just have to watch in 2 days. Ah. Simple. Is this F*King human language? Let me ask you, do you know what their general realm is like? Lu Zhangyi scratched his head and said, I'm not too sure, but in the academy, the lowest is the mysterious heaven realm. Looking at their situation, they shouldn't be weak. This realm was hard to say, but sometimes the temperament that was revealed could be roughly seen. For example, when Ling Long Shui walked outside, anyone who saw her would first be stunned by her beauty, and then subconsciously feel that this woman must be very powerful. If you were a normal beautiful woman, it would be possible, but the temperament that was revealed in her every movement made people feel something. Temperament was something that couldn't be described with words, it could only be felt. Then tell me, with such a young and high realm, do they like to farm? Lu Zhangyi nodded. Of course, if they are so outstanding and have high cultivation, they will definitely improve themselves in all aspects. So now I'll teach you another way to pick up girls. Take them to farm. Ah Lu. Lu Zhengyi was stunned. Since they are the kind of people who are willing to improve themselves, then we'll take them to improve. In the demon beast domain, it is full of danger. This kind of opportunity is more precious than any other occasion, and the effect is better. It might even save their lives, and at the same time, it can also show the charm of a man. Do you think this kind of interaction is good for picking up girls? Lu Zhengyi slightly nodded. Of course there is, but can it be realized? Whether it can be realized or not, you can see the results in 2 days. Right now, I'm going to invite them to the Demon Beast domain. With that, Lin Xian walked out. Hey, Big Brother Xian, wait for me. The two of them came to their classroom. The two girls sat in the corner, looking at their phones together as if they were watching a video. They could see that the people around them were secretly looking at them, but they didn't strike up a conversation, because they didn't dare. Even existences like Wang Haiyang and Liao Zhibong couldn't get them, so how could they do it? Then, they saw the legendary Lin Xian come. Hey, are the two beauties free? Lin Xian greeted them and directly sat in front of them. Lu Zhengyi was a little embarrassed. He sat a little further away, so that he could hear their conversation. This Lin Xian, could he really invite them to the Demon Beast domain? Chapter 667. What's the matter? Ling Ying could be considered to be cooperating with Lin Xian's performance. He did not show any intimacy, but it seemed to be slightly different to other boys. Then, Lin Xian told them about the Holy Dragon Flame Cave. The two girls frowned slightly. The surrounding people could not help but exclaim. They want to go to the Holy Dragon Flame Cave? Sure, tonight. Yes, tonight. I'll pick you up. All right. Ling Ying nodded. She didn't care if what Lin Xian said was true or false. She just had to agree. It didn't matter if it was false, but if it was true, he definitely had other ways. He must have thought it through before saying it, so she chose to believe in Lin Xian. Lu Zhengyi's face was filled with admiration. Inviting them to the Demon Beast domain might not be too difficult, but going to the Holy Dragon Flame Cave was extremely difficult. It was very dangerous there, and for people who were not very familiar with each other, they had to worry about whether or not the other party had other thoughts and dangers. However, they actually agreed so straightforwardly. In just 1 day, their relationship was already so good. This Lin Xian's methods could be said to be heaven-defying. Okay, then it's settled. I'll be leaving first. Lin Xian had only come over to play around and act like a little B***TCH. While he was at it, he told them about his plans. That's right, he was planning to make a trip to the sacred Dragon Flame Cave tonight. As for confidence, he had an advantage that most people did not have, and that was the fact that he was strong. Bewitching that girl Ling Longyue, using some delicious food to trick her and bring her along. With her here, if they encountered any danger, a spatial energy would be enough to send them away. With such a backup plan, Lin Xian would not be too worried. Damn. Older brother Xian, how did you get them to agree so directly? Lu Zhengyi asked curiously. It's simple, as long as you have a good relationship with them, they will have enough trust in you. You can make them trust you in 1 day? Lin Xian smiled, then patted his shoulder and said, It depends on your skills, you are still too far away, don't think about this for now. I'm convinced. Lu Zhengyi looked at Lin Xian with a sincere gaze. The two of them strolled around the academy. That's right, where's the #1 beauty of Saint Brilliant Academy? Take me there. Lin Xian asked. To be able to stand side by side with Han Chuxue and the others, she must be especially beautiful. Lin Xian would definitely be able to trigger the quest. Although he already had a lot of unfinished quests and girls, humans were just that greedy. Curious. Since Lin Xian knew that he should be able to trigger a quest, he was curious as to what kind of quest it would be. In any case, the quests he had triggered were all better than the ones before. At the very least, none of them were particularly bad. Hence, Lin Xian was curious. This? Lu Zhengyi scratched his head, then said, She's a little hard to meet. She's usually in the backyard, and the backyard is a place that students like us can't go. She only comes out occasionally, so it's harder to meet her. She's also very strong. She's the #1 of Lin and City's Sky Martial Arts Tournament and is especially beautiful. In my opinion, only Han Chuxue, Ling Ying, and Miss Xiao can be on par with her in terms of beauty. Lin Xian was secretly speechless. The girls these days were all much more outstanding than the boys. Xiao Runing was indeed beautiful. It was not an exaggeration to call her the most beautiful teacher in history. In Tianhua Academy, it was also Han Chuxue and Ling Ying who reached the top. In Saint Brilliant Academy, it was also a girl who reached the top. Young Master Lin. A voice came from behind. Lin Xian turned his head and saw Wang Haiyang running over. Young Master Wang, is something the matter? Or are you having trouble picking up girls? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Wang Haiyang felt uncomfortable. He tried to chat with Han Chuxue according to Lin Xian's method. He felt that it was effective, but he felt that the speed at which he picked up girls was too different from Lin Xian's. He did not believe it. He had the method, but why was there such a huge difference in the speed at which he picked up girls? Moreover, he did not feel that Han Chuxue's feelings towards him had changed too much. When he heard that Lin Xian had invited them to the sacred dragon flame cave, his first reaction was that it must have been a failure. However, he did not expect that they would agree. What the F***CK? Young Master Lin, are you going to the sacred dragon flame cave with Ling Ying and the rest tonight? Lin Xian nodded. Yes, we're going to have some fun. Wang Haiyang. Have some fun. How could you say something like that? How about this, I want to go too. Why don't I join you guys tonight? Wang Haiyang said. He had learned some useful things from Lin Xian. Tonight, they could be considered to be alone together. Moreover, in the realm of demonic beasts, he could also show off his manly strength. Girls preferred stronger men. His strength was not weak, so he could also show off. Lin Xian smiled in his heart. Free labor came. Oh. Young Master Wang wants to go too. Wang Haiyang nodded. Aren't I pursuing Chuxue? Of course I have to protect her. Lin Xian was touched by her words. It was a pity that the girls were all his. Sure, but is young Master Wang strong enough? That sacred dragon flame cave must be extremely dangerous. If you die inside, wouldn't we be in trouble? Wang Haiyang. F***CKU. Can't you say something nice? Lightning Tribulation Realm should be enough, right? Not bad. Then we'll have to trouble young Master Wang to drive us tonight. Lin Xian smiled. Wang Haiyang. How did it become him driving? However, it didn't matter. It was enough to be with them. Moreover, he believed that Lin Xian was bringing them out to pick up girls. Otherwise, why would he bring them? As for how to pick up girls, Wang Haiyang didn't know. However, following Lin Xian and seeing what Lin Xian did, he definitely wouldn't be a problem. No problem. See you at the entrance of the school at 7 p.m. tonight. Okay. Then, Wang Haiyang walked away. His strength was about the same as Lin Xian and the others. Of course, it wasn't because he was very talented. He should be 25 years old, 3 or 4 years older than them. However, their realms were the same. However, in 3 years, they would definitely be stronger. They might even be in the law realm or the domain realm. Therefore, compared to those people in Tiandu, there was still a gap. Their realms might be similar, but they were a few years older than those people. Now that you mention it, even I want to go. Lu Zhengyi sighed and said, You. Forget it. The Mystic Heaven realm is still dangerous. Moreover, the two of them don't have what you want. It's not that I don't want to, but I also know that I'm a lot weaker than Wang Haiyang and the others. Therefore, I don't want girls of this level. You guys must be careful. Lin Xian nodded. At this moment, Lin Xian saw a group of people in front. It was as if they had seen a celebrity. The appearance of Han Chuxue and the others, including some of the school beauties, was the same. However, this one was obviously more famous. Chapter 668. Damn. Brother Xian, we're in luck today. It's Xiao Xinue. Xiao Xinue is coming out. Lin Xian scratched his head. Xiao Xinue? That's the #1 campus belle. In terms of looks and temperament, I think she's on par with Han Chushue and Ling Ying. However, she's still the most famous expert and campus belle of our Saint Brilliance Academy. She still has a lot of suitors. Lu Zhengyi said. Let's go and take a look. Lu Zhengyi saw the burning passion in Lin Xian's eyes. He swallowed a mouthful of saliva. This guy isn't going to do something, is he? After all, it's a girl of Han Chushue's level. Wouldn't it trigger a mission if he went over? That's right. Lin Xian went over. However, there were too many people. He couldn't squeeze in at all. Damn. There's a beauty taking off her clothes. Lin Xian suddenly shouted from behind. The people in front immediately looked back. At this time, Lin Xian squeezed in. Lu Zhengyi. What the F***CK? Is this even possible? After Lin Xian squeezed through the crowd, he realized that a lady was walking towards him. The crowd moved along with her, just like a celebrity. It was just that this group of people only dared to look at her but did not dare to get close to her. Beside her was a very handsome man. The corner of his mouth had an elegant and gentlemanly arc as he followed her. He had to admit that these people were really handsome. This should be the person called Gong Sun Jun that Lu Zhengyi mentioned. He was the number 2 expert of the Saint Brilliance Academy, only below Xiao Xinyue. At the same time, he was also the son of the Azura Palace's White Tiger Hall's Hall Master. Furthermore, he was Xiao Xinyue's suitor. However, Lin Xian was more concerned about this girl called Xiao Xinyue. When she came closer, Lin Xian could clearly see her face. The girl was wearing a white dress. Her beautiful face was as delicate and flawless as porcelain. Her crescent-shaped eyebrows were slightly knitted, and her clear eyes were shining. Her silky black hair cascaded down her back like a waterfall, as if it was made by nature. Her figure was tall and flawless, and her skin was as white as jade. It was obvious that she was a cold and aloof female lead. Indeed, she was very similar to Han Chushue. Of course, it was only her temperament that was similar. This temperament made Lin Xian immediately think that this Xiao Xinyue must have come from a decent family. As for her appearance and temperament, she was indeed worthy of being the number 1 campus belle of the Saint Brilliance Academy. She was very, very beautiful. She was the type of girl that could arouse any man's desire to conquer her. Han Chushue was a little better. After all, she had a boyfriend, Lin Xian. After being bullied by Lin Xian, her cold temperament gradually changed to become more gentle. Her coldness was not as exaggerated as before. Perhaps it was because she had a boyfriend, but she did not care about other people's opinions or pursuits. However, she would still be cold and elegant. Ling Ying, Han Chushue, Xiao Xinyue, and perhaps Xiao Runing. Among the 4 of them, it was hard to tell who was prettier and had a better temperament. Everyone had their own preferences. In short, this was another top-notch girl. It was said that there were not many beauties in this world. Lin Xian agreed. However, looking at the girls he knew, from the demon god Ling Longshui who had lived for thousands of years, to the ice empress Bing Lingyue who had been frozen for 100 years, to the teenage Miao Xiaomiao who still looked like a loli. Which one of them was not beautiful? Ding! Congratulations on triggering the mission. Successful confession of love to Xiao Xinyue. Mission reward: unlimited exchange of chalcedony liquid without consumption. Permanently activating the wind attribute. Mission time limit: 3 months. Mission punishment: unable to exchange for chalcedony liquid. Lin Xian. Really, Lin Xian wanted to curse. Triggering a mission was a good thing. Lin Xian was here to trigger this mission. The mission reward made Lin Xian extremely excited. Unlimited exchange of chalcedony liquid without consumption. In other words, as long as he completed this mission, Lin Xian would not need to consume any Adonis points. He would have as much chalcedony liquid as he wanted. This would completely solve Lin Xian's immediate problem. As long as he completed this mission, he would be able to start developing the Art Xian group in the 5 great empires. Because there would be enough chalcedony liquid. How could he not be excited? Then there was another reward: permanently activating the wind attribute. The wind attribute was one of Lin Xian's favorite attributes. Now, he already had the water, ice, space, thunder, and poison attributes. His mastery of the thunder attribute was slightly better, and his space attribute was still okay. As for the poison attribute, he rarely used it. Almost no one knew about the water and ice attributes. Only Han Chuxue, Bing Lingyue, and a few others knew that Lin Xian also had the ice attribute. As for the water attribute, to Lin Xian, it might be the most useless compared to the other 4 attributes, but it was better than nothing. As for the wind attribute, although it could not be compared to space teleportation, it was very powerful in terms of speed and wind attribute martial arts. Just look at Miao Xiaomiao, she was very good at it. Therefore, this mission reward was extremely tempting to Lin Xian. He had to complete it. An unlimited supply of chalcedony liquid was simply too good. Then there was a mission penalty. This was what Lin Xian wanted to curse. If he did not complete it, there would be no more chalcedony liquid in the store. In other words, the Art Pavilion group would close down, and Lin Xian's development plans would be ruined. This system was really realistic. It would give him rewards based on what he needed, and at the same time, it would give him punishments. He had no choice but to complete it. However, even a girl like Ling Long Shui had a favorability of 50. He had even managed to woo Han Chuxue and Ling Ying. At the same time, they could even do it together. Lin Xian felt that there was nothing impossible in this world. Excuse me. At first, Gong Sun Jun felt that being surrounded by so many people was because of Xiao Xinyue's beauty. He indeed felt that his vanity was greatly satisfied. However, when he saw so many people secretly taking photos, he was a little unhappy. Then Gong Sun Jun shouted, "From now on, this young master will beat up all of you who are taking photos. Do you hear me?" "Why?" Someone shouted in dissatisfaction. "Why?" "Because Xinyue is this young master's girlfriend." "Is that enough?" Gong Sun Jun's lips curled up as he sneered. Everyone was shocked. What? This Gong Sun Jun actually pursued Xiao Xinyue? Wow! The goddess has been pursued? Heavens! I don't want to accept this. F***CK. Why? Why did you have to let me know this heart-wrenching news today? The surrounding people were discussing. As for the authenticity of this news, there was no need to doubt it. This Gong Sun Jun said this in front of Xiao Xinyue, which proved that it was true. Xiao Xinyue did not have much of a reaction. She continued to walk outside, and soon the two disappeared from everyone's sight. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. What kind of joke was this? This girl had been pursued by someone else? Then what was he pursuing her for? Then why did he trigger this mission? Chapter 669. Lin Xian obviously wouldn't be so arrogant as to think that all the pretty girls were his, but he had triggered a mission. What would he do? Poach. F***CK. This kind of feeling was different from the normal pursuit of a girl. This kind of feeling was shameful. F***CK. F***CK. Xiao Xinyue was actually pursued. I don't want to live anymore. Lu Zhengyi's face was bitter. To be honest, the feeling of his goddess being pursued by another man was very uncomfortable. This was normal. She's not really a goddess. How could she be so easily pursued by someone else? Lin Xian said. That's not it. Lu Zhengyi said, this Gong Sun Jun has been pursuing Xiao Xinyue for almost 3 years. He's been meticulous to her. It's normal for him to be able to catch up with her after accumulating a little bit of favorability. After all, it's been almost 3 years. Anyone with a heart of stone wouldn't be indifferent, right? Lin Xian scratched his head. Brother Xian's expression seems to be very conflicted. Brother Xian couldn't have been thinking of pursuing Xiao Xinyue, right? Lin Xian nodded. You don't say, I really did have that thought. Then it's fine now. Lu Zhengyi smiled. Lu Zhengyi said, Gong Sun Jun is a person who likes to show off. He must be eager to tell this news to others. But before this, I didn't see such news on the forum or his WeChat. According to my guess, they must have been together in the past 2 days, and Xiao Xinyue certainly didn't want him to say it. Of course, my guess is that Gong Sun Jun must have agreed and used the opportunity just now to spread the news. He must have done it deliberately. Since they just got together, Xiao Xinyue certainly wouldn't be ruined by Gong Sun Jun so easily, right? Lin Xian nodded. Lu Zhengyi's words were quite correct. Plus, with Xiao Xinyue's personality, even if she was pursued, she wouldn't be willing to be taken advantage of in a short period of time. At least, it was impossible for her to sleep with him in a short period of time. It was very simple. Xiao Xinyue was pursued by Gong Sun Jun for 3 years. What kind of conclusion could be drawn from this? She definitely didn't like this man very much. Otherwise, she wouldn't have taken 3 years to pursue him. However, she probably liked him a little. Maybe she didn't know it herself, so she agreed. Of course, there might be other reasons, but no one knew. Under such circumstances, with her personality, she probably wouldn't even agree to kiss him in a short period of time. She was limited to holding hands. That was nothing. As long as they didn't kiss or have sex, Lin Xian wouldn't accept it. However, for Lin Xian, as long as this girl kissed another guy, he would have a huge grudge. No matter how beautiful she was, he wouldn't want her. This was true. He didn't lack women anyway. However, since the system knew his personality, it would also formulate rewards and punishments according to the latest situation. Since this mission was triggered, Xiao Xinyue should meet the requirements, right? Lin Xian wasn't sure. We'll talk about it later. I have to go prepare for tonight's trip to the Holy Dragon Flame Cave. Lin Xian said and walked away. On the other side, Gong Sun Jun and Xiao Xinyue walked out of St. Brilliant's Academy side by side. Xinyue, what do you want for lunch? Gong Sun Jun asked with a smile. Anything. Xiao Xinyue's tone was really like Han Chushue's in the past. It was indeed cold and emotionless. Even when facing her boyfriend, she was like this. Gong Sun Jun was used to it. Then let's go to Rose Heaven. I'll make a reservation now. Xiao Xinyue nodded slightly. By the way, are you sure you want to go to the Holy Dragon Flame Cave tonight? Yes. Then I'll go with you. Xiao Xinyue said, no need. I'll go check it out myself. That won't do. You're my girlfriend. I have to ensure your safety. I can only feel at ease when I'm by your side. Xiao Xinyue didn't say anything and walked straight ahead. Gong Sun Jun walked with her. He moved his hand towards her, trying to hold her hand. Just as his hand touched hers, Xiao Xinyue's beautiful eyebrows suddenly furrowed. Then, she subconsciously retracted her hand and put it in her coat pocket. Gong Sun Jun smiled in his heart. He was helpless. He had caught up with her, but he hadn't even touched her hand. But it didn't matter. Since he had caught up with her, it was enough. After all, he knew Xiao Xinyue's character. It didn't matter. It was just time. He had plenty of time. He believed that as long as he had time, not only would he be able to hold her hand, but he would also be able to get Xiao Xinyue into bed. After all, this woman was really beautiful. He really liked her. Compared to any woman he had played with before, she was the best. Moreover, she was especially clean. At a glance, he could tell that she had never held hands with a man or kissed him. Such a woman, in addition to being so beautiful and outstanding, would be really comfortable to be a wife. He felt that it wasn't difficult to pursue a girl. All he needed was a little trick. If he had known, he wouldn't have spent more than 2 years. He would have pursued her long ago. By now, he probably didn't know how many times he had slept with her. It was also a big failure. But it didn't matter. It was good that he had caught up with her. After 10 minutes, they arrived at Rose Heaven. Xiao Xinyue also received a phone call. She got up and walked to the side. What's the matter? Her voice was slightly gentler. I heard that you have a boyfriend? A girl came from the phone. Yes. The answer was simple and straightforward. Gong Sun Jun. He's okay. Actually, I was going to introduce you to someone. You? The other side laughed. It's true. I was really going to introduce you to someone. But since you've already handed him over, it doesn't matter. You should find your own boyfriend first. To be honest, I don't feel that this Gong Sun Jun is particularly attractive. He's quite outstanding, but he's far from the people in our family. Why did you agree? You've really surprised me. It's none of your business. The other side laughed. Okay. I don't care. Remember to protect yourself. I also believe in your eyesight and your own judgment. Alright, there are still 3 months before the new year. Can you bring him home? It's none of your business. Mom and Dad are urging you even more. You should think about yourself. Okay. I'll be returning to Ice Country in about a month. I'm just letting you know. I'm hanging up. You guys go be sweet. On the other side, Xiao Runing hung up the phone and shook her head with a smile. This sister of hers had found a partner. It was really beyond her imagination. Chapter 670. Xiao Xinyue, Xiao Runing, they were sisters, but this matter was probably only known to the two of them. After Xiao Runing came to St. Brilliant Academy, she had only gone out to eat a meal with her once, but the relationship between the two sisters was pretty good. It was just that this younger sister was relatively cold. However, Xiao Runing was still surprised. Was Gong Sun Jun really that outstanding? Compared to where they were, there was still a huge gap. She also knew that her younger sister's heart wasn't in love, and her taste was indeed quite high. This was almost exactly the same as the Han Chushue she knew. How did she find a boyfriend? At one point, she even felt that it was impossible for her younger sister to find a boyfriend. However, it couldn't be generalized. Who could say for sure? Just like that Lin Xian, he didn't have a big background, wasn't too outstanding, and wasn't too handsome. However, she had even kissed him before, and he wasn't angry. Therefore, Xiao Runing was quite understanding. If she met him, then she met him, no matter what his status was. Let's go eat. Xiao Runing stretched her body and walked out. She also felt bad. Her family had already said that if she didn't bring a boyfriend back home this year, then she shouldn't go back. Her family had been urging her to do so. She didn't feel the rush. Perhaps her parents were like this. However, thinking about it, she was already 25 years old. Some people were already married at 20 years old. Although their realms weren't low, and they might still look the same in their 40s or 50s, age was still there. Her family was indeed anxious, and she was also embarrassed. After all, this younger sister of hers wasn't even 23 years old. Lin Xian? This person's appearance popped up in her mind. No, he's too young. He's only 21. At this moment, Lin Xian came to Linglong Shui and the others' place. Since there were more and more girls around him, Lin Xian's route had been to each of the girls' places. These 3 girls were nestled on the sofa, watching a Xianxia TV series. They seemed to be quite engrossed. Hey, I'm here. Can you guys welcome me? Lin Xian felt awkward. He was here. The 3 of them glanced at Lin Xian in unison but did not say anything. Then, they continued to look at the television. Yes. Linglong Shui replied with a Lin Xian. Then, he shrugged helplessly and sat on the sofa. Okay. Lin Xian elbowed Ling Longyue. What? Ling Longyue rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Do you want to go out with me tonight? I'll take you to eat something delicious. At that moment, Ling Longyue's eyes lit up but she shook her head. No, I want to watch TV. Lin Xian. Wow. Oh my God. Food was not as attractive to her as television? This was also very normal. If girls watched dramas to a certain extent, they could forget themselves. Xiao Linglong, where are you? Lin Xian asked Linglong Shui. Nope. Little Bing Bing, what about you? Watching TV. Lin Xian. Wow. This was awkward. Then, Linglong Shui looked at Lin Xian. Do you have something to say? After all, Lin Xian had looked for them many times. Basically, it was for some reason. Lin Xian nodded. Yes, actually, there's a riot at the Holy Dragon Flame Cave in the Beast Domain. So, I wanted to go and take a look. I don't know how dangerous it is, so I felt that it would be safer with an expert following me. I'm not free. Then, she said calmly. Lin Xian. Humph, you want us to be your bodyguards for free? Don't even think about it. Ling Longyue wrinkled her cute nose. Can I pay? I don't lack money. Lin Xian. These 3 girls were poisoned by TV dramas. Alright, then I won't bring you to eat good food in the future. Lin Xian stood up with a sad look on his face. Girls nowadays were getting harder and harder to deceive. Ling Longshui said, It's best if you don't go to the Holy Dragon Flame Cave. Even if you go there, you won't be able to find anything powerful. As for danger, I'm not sure, but it shouldn't be an extremely dangerous area. Lin Xian pondered for a moment. You guys have already hurt my heart. I won't look for you guys anymore. I'll go find someone else. Bye-bye. Then, Lin Xian left. Sister, is it not good? Ling Longyue saw that Lin Xian had left and turned to ask Ling Longshui. Then you can follow and protect him. No, I want to watch TV. That bad guy is so bad. Nothing will happen. Ling Longyue decisively refused. After Lin Xian left, his mood was extremely complicated. Women. Fickle women. They were usually so nice, but when they met something they liked more, they would abandon him. However, Lin Xian didn't think much of it. If he was a little more forceful, they would definitely follow him. But since they liked watching TV dramas, then let them be. Anyway, Lin Xian still had other options. That's right, Murong Qing. This Murong Qing was also a heavenly venerable. Although she wasn't of the space attribute, she was of the time attribute. She wasn't bad, and he might even be able to cultivate a good impression of her. Then, Lin Xian gave her a call. Murong Qing actually agreed without hesitation. It was obvious that she was quite interested. Even if Lin Xian didn't look for her, she might still go. This time, there were no more problems. Tonight's party consisted of Lin Xian, Murong Qing, Ling Ying, Han Chushue, and there was also the third wheel, Wang Haiyang. It didn't matter if Wang Haiyang went or not. If he went, Lin Xian would let him be a driver or coolie. In front of Han Chushue, he would probably be very willing and couldn't refuse. In the evening, Lin Xian also saw some news about the Holy Dragon Flame Cave on the internet. Most of the news was spread by the martial artists who came back from there. The authenticity of the news was still trustworthy. After a quick glance, Lin Xian roughly got some information about how dangerous it was inside. The Holy Dragon Flame Cave was very big and complicated. It was much bigger than the 10,000 spider cave they went to before. There were also demonic beasts, all of which were of the fire attribute. Zi used the fire attribute power in the Holy Dragon Flame Cave to cultivate quickly. The level of the demonic beasts was generally higher, but they didn't find anything particularly good inside. This also confirmed Ling Longshui's words. However, the deeper they went, the higher the temperature. It was so high that many people found it difficult to go in. The fire attribute was extremely prosperous, and the deeper they went, the more dangerous it was. As for what was in the depths, there was no news because those people hadn't returned yet. The ones who spread this news were those martial artists who couldn't go in and had to return. But this was good news. At least it showed that the deeper they went, the more likely they were to encounter the things they wanted to encounter. As for the dragon, it was indeed a legend. The possibility was still relatively low. Chapter 671. In the evening, they gathered at Murong Qing's Rose Hotel. Originally, they had agreed to meet at St. Brilliant's Academy, where Wang Haiyang would pick them up. However, with the addition of Murong Qing, the location was changed at the last minute. Wang Haiyang's face was filled with excitement. It was time to show off his manly prowess to be able to go out with them. Lin Xian, Murong Qing, Ling Ying, and Han Chuxue sat in the hall, drinking tea and waiting for the driver, Wang Haiyang. These three beauties with their own unique features really made people feel happy. Of course, the one who was enjoying the happiness was Lin Xian. I have some understanding of the Holy Dragon Flame Cave. I heard some rumors a few years ago, but I'm not sure if it's true. In short, the most important thing to pay attention to is a phenomenon called flame tide. It really exists. Murong Qing said to the three of them. What is flame tide? Lin Xian scratched his head with a puzzled look. You can think of it as the undercurrent of the sea. In a place like the Holy Dragon Flame Cave, we are in a giant sealed space. At the same time, we don't know how many years of fire elements have accumulated here. Normally, we can only feel the scorching heat of the fire attribute. However, under this kind of accumulation, it may form a phenomenon, that is, a very terrifying flame tide will suddenly erupt from the depths. In such an environment, once it erupts, as long as you are inside, it will be impossible to escape. This made Lin Xian a little scared. How dangerous is it? Murong Qing shook her head. I'm not sure. It depends on the time, intensity, and various factors of the accumulation of fire elements. If it's too strong, maybe even a heavenly venerable will be injured. However, it should be more than that. I'm just telling you. Lin Xian nodded. There should be no problem. After all, someone has been there for a day before us. If there is really a flame tide there should be news, right? Murong Qing smiled. If there is, I'm afraid they don't have the ability to send news. However, I think a heavenly venerable should be enough to block it. Since there are many demon beasts living and cultivating in the Holy Dragon Flame Cave, the possibility of this will be even lower. However, it's hard to say. After all, there hasn't been an outbreak there before. There must be a reason for the outbreak, so we still have to be more careful. You're here anyway. Lin Xian grinned at Murong Qing. Murong Qing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. What I want to say is that this place is filled with danger. I just want to remind everyone to be careful. Ling Ying and the others also nodded. There was another reason for choosing to go at night, and that was because Ling Ying was of the dark attribute. Don't underestimate the difference in combat strength between night and day. The difference was like heaven and earth. Alright, don't you know that beauty with the spatial attribute? Take her there. Murong Qing looked at Lin Xian and suddenly said, I'm not going. Lin Xian shrugged. Oh, so it's a spare tire. Lin Xian. Aya, you're so devoted to others. What a pity. You're indeed a dead fly in the vast ocean of others. Lin Xian. Scram, don't spout nonsense. Lin Xian rolled his eyes at Murong Qing. Ling Ying and Han Chuxue listened with jealousy. This bastard Lin Xian was devoted to another girl? Bastard. However, the spatial attribute reminded them of Ling Longshui or Ling Longyue. When they thought of them, they calmed down because they knew that Lin Xian had a good relationship with them. Moreover, Ling Longyue had saved their lives. They just felt that if another girl they didn't know appeared, it would be very annoying. If they knew, it would be good if Lin Xian had a good relationship with them. How could they not let him interact with them? They found out. How could they be so magnanimous? Okay. Murong Qing smiled and then looked at the time. Why aren't they here yet? We agreed to meet at 7. They should be here soon. Lin Xian said. Just as they finished talking, a car stopped in front of the door. Wang Haiyang came out. He had changed into a very handsome outfit. Well, no one else. Wang Haiyang then walked in excitedly. His eyes were naturally on Ling Ying and Han Chuxue at first. Then, he was suddenly stunned because he found that there was a girl sitting next to them. In terms of appearance and temperament, she didn't lose to them at all. Wait. Were there so many beauties of this level in this world? That's not right. How come he hadn't seen many in his 20 years of life? Why did they come one after another in this period of time? Lin Xian, this is? Wang Haiyang looked at Murong Qing and asked Lin Xian. If he couldn't get Han Chushue, he could get this girl. She was so beautiful and mature. Damn. This kind of girl was too good. She is. I'm Mr. Lin's secretary. I'm here to take care of Mr. Lin. Morong Qing smiled and said first. Lin Xian. Wang Haiyang. What the heck? Secretary? Lin Xian was dumbfounded. What was Morong Qing doing? Why did she even bring out a secretary? Wang Haiyang was even more dumbfounded. Secretary? Damn. This kind of girl was a secretary? This kind of temperament shouldn't be a secretary, right? But she already said so. Most importantly, she was Lin Xian's secretary? Damn it. Based on what? Based on what were all these girls King Lin Xian's? It was said that if there was something to do, the secretary would do it. If there was nothing to do, the secretary would do it. This Lin Xian wouldn't play with these kinds of girls every day, right? Look at him. He had played with many girls before, but compared to these girls, what kind of trash were they? Although it felt ridiculous, but for some reason, what if it was true? Lin Xian shook his head helplessly. Forget it. Let this Morong Qing make a fuss. Cough cough, it's quite good. Wang Haiyang coughed dryly. Damn it. She just came and gave him a critical hit. Ling Ying and Han Chushue also smiled slightly. Then let's go. Wang Haiyang said. Let's go. Then, they got into the car. The three girls sat in the back. Wang Haiyang drove while Lin Xian sat in the front passenger seat. The journey to the Holy Dragon Flame Cave was about 5 hours. It was actually quite far. After all, the terrain there had changed suddenly. It definitely wouldn't be too close. It was definitely dangerous there. There might even be some extremely powerful heaven and earth spiritual items. Lin Xian was also going there because of this. He might be able to awaken the fire attribute. The fire attribute's damage couldn't be compared to lightning, but it was second only to lightning. It was also a big shot in the attack attribute. It was also very important. In the past, the Deep Cold Valley was actually similar to the current Holy Dragon Flame Cave. However, the Holy Dragon Flame Cave should be more dangerous and bigger than the Deep Cold Valley. The heaven and earth spiritual item in the Deep Cold Valley was actually Bing Lingyue. Using this analogy, if the Holy Dragon Flame Cave had a heaven and earth spiritual item, wouldn't it be even more exaggerated? Chapter 672. 5 hours later, they arrived at their destination. The journey was relatively smooth and they didn't encounter any danger. Bang! The 5 of them got off the car one after another and looked ahead. Damn, this is much more shocking than the pictures on the internet. Ling Ying couldn't help but exclaim. I don't know why, but I feel uneasy seeing this scene. Morong Qing said faintly. That's right, anyone who saw this scene would feel uneasy. The Holy Dragon Flame Cave was an incomparably large place. You could imagine it as a mountain range, or you could walk and walk until you reached the underground. And this mountain range was made up of dozens of volcanoes. The tallest ones were thousands of meters, and it would take an hour to walk around. The shortest ones were about 100 meters. It was these volcanoes that formed a group of volcanoes. It was so large that you couldn't see the end of it. There were many caves here, big and small. The small ones were a few meters, and the big ones were dozens of meters. No one knew when these caves appeared, and most of them were probably created by demon beasts. However, the Holy Dragon Flame Cave was extremely large and intricate, like a huge tomb. It was definitely not created by a group of demon beasts. No one knew who created such a large space. There were also rumors that the largest cave entrance was the place where the legendary dragon entered. Of course, these were all rumors. What scared them the most was the scene they were witnessing. What was the situation here before? It was very peaceful. Normally, if you pass by, you wouldn't think that this was a group of volcanoes. There were even many trees growing on the mountains, making it look no different from an ordinary mountain range. But now, the sky was dark, and the surroundings were bright. Magma from many volcanoes slowly rolled down, emitting a fiery red light. The volcanoes spewed out thick volcanic ash, covering a large area of the sky. The surroundings were desolate and lifeless, as if they were in an apocalyptic world. The surrounding temperature was terrifyingly high. In such an environment, an ordinary person would faint and die after staying for a few minutes. It wasn't a problem with the temperature. Moreover, the volcanic ash that covered the sky was unimaginably harmful to humans. However, Lin Xian and the others were all martial artists, and their cultivation wasn't low either. In fact, such harm wasn't much to them. They only had to worry about oxygen. After all, even martial artists couldn't survive without oxygen. After all, they were still considered human. And there was another very exaggerated matter. The surroundings were filled with cars. Many, many cars. Only the heavens knew how many people had been attracted by the sacred Dragon Flame Caves riot. This was not a riot, nor was it dangerous. On the contrary, not many people had come. Now that there was a riot, everyone had come. There was no other way. They were all here for the opportunity. This was because under normal circumstances, if there was a sudden large-scale and high-frequency volcanic eruption, coupled with a surge in spiritual energy, there must be some kind of heaven and earth spirit item. In any case, it must be related to heaven and earth spirit item. There had to be a reason for that. He had obtained an opportunity that could change his entire life. For this, the danger might not be so important anymore. I'm afraid there are at least a few thousand people here, right? Han Chuxue scanned the surroundings and said, "That's probably it. But this place is very big. As for the specific situation, we'll know once we enter." "Then let's go in," Wang Haiyang said. He took the lead, trying to show off in front of the girls. "Hey, wait," Lin Xian said. "Young Master Wang, may I ask what attribute you have?" "Metal attribute." "Why? Then your strength must be very high." Wang Haiyang smiled and said, "It's all right. At least in terms of strength, I won't lose to anyone in the entire Sacred Academy." Then Lin Xian threw the backpack directly to Wang Haiyang. Wang Haiyang looked at Lin Xian. Wang Haiyang subconsciously caught it. "Damn. What's inside? Why is it a little heavy?" "It's filled with some necessities for the four of them to come here. They were all small things, but they were all very useful." "What? Why not put it in the spatial ring? Why put it in Lin Xian's spatial ring? Isn't it good to let Wang Haiyang do the hard work?" Spatial rings were rare. Even Ling Ying and the others rarely had them. To be precise, they only had a small spatial storage spiritual artifact. Lin Xian's spatial ring was obtained from Linglong Shui. It wasn't something that just anyone could have. But to others, it was just an ordinary ring. Since young Master Wang is strong, then I'll have to trouble young Master Wang to carry it. It's all for the beauties. Wang Haiyang. He also carried a backpack. Now there were two. He said that he was strong, and Lin Xian said that it was for Ling Ying and the others. Naturally, he couldn't refuse. But why didn't Lin Xian carry it? Then why didn't young Master Lin carry it? "I have my own backpack." Wang Haiyang was extremely unhappy. After all, young Master Wang is strong, and it's very dangerous to enter. Shouldn't someone be responsible for protecting them? Young Master Wang knows that I'm of the spatial attribute, but if I carry something on me, it'll affect my performance. I won't be able to fight well. How can I protect them? Lin Xian said. Wang Haiyang felt that this was quite reasonable. But why did he need Lin Xian to protect them? After thinking about it, he gave up. After all, he was of the spatial attribute. It was much better for him to protect them. Okay. Then young Master Lin has to protect everyone. Chuxue, do you have anything else? I'll help you carry it. Han Chuxue shook her head. Let's go in. Then Lin Xian quietly moved to Wang Haiyang's side and whispered, Young Master Wang, from now on, you have to pay attention to my actions and words. This is a tutorial for picking up girls. So you're teaching me? Wang Haiyang was quite touched. Of course. Look, I asked you to help everyone carry things, and you agreed. This can also indirectly show your generosity and willingness to contribute. It's similar to when you go out to play with girls and take the initiative to help her carry things. In their eyes, you're now a man who will help them carry things if they go out on a date. I'm helping you slowly understand. Wang Haiyang nodded, touched. So this Lin Xian was helping him pick up girls. Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh in his heart. Idiot, pure. Lin Xian was right, but was it useful? No. This was the typical behavior of a girl who would be treated as a spare tire. Treat girls well? That's right, it makes sense. But why is it that the better you treat girls, the more you treat them as a spare tire? Don't you have any sense? It's okay to be nice, but you can't be nice all the time. You have to make her emotional, or else you'll be a bootlicker and a spare tire. Girls won't be willing to be your girlfriend just because you treat them well. That's called taking over. Chapter 673. In the end, the 5 of them chose to enter from the largest cave. Inside, the lava had not seeped in, so it was still considered safe. It was a little strange. Many places outside had already been seeped in by the lava, but there was no lava in the Holy Dragon Flame Cave. As soon as they entered, they happened to see a group of no less than 10 people coming out from inside. These people looked a little embarrassed. They were more or less injured or burned. It was unknown whether it was because of the lava inside or because they had encountered demonic beasts. Gentlemen, may I ask what's the situation inside? Lin Xian asked. They looked over. When they saw the 3 beautiful women, each more stunning than the other, but they were not theirs. To be honest, if they were more ruthless, or if they had discussed it, they might have made a move on Lin Xian and the others. They would have killed the men and taken the women. That's right, this was the demonic beast domain. This was not a city, a place where they could do whatever they wanted. However, they were not very confident in themselves. Although they had such thoughts, they did not dare to do so. Oh, the temperature inside is very high, and there are quite a lot of demonic beasts. The path is very complicated, but it's not wrong to go inside. We can't bear the heat inside, and our strength is not too strong. We probably won't be able to get anything good, so we came out. A person said. Lin Xian glanced at them. They were all in the profound heaven realm. Lin Xian had expected that the profound heaven realm would not be able to bear the heat inside, but he did not know how much the Thunder Tribulation realm cultivators could bear. Thank you. Then Lin Xian and the others walked in. There was no need to think too much about the large distance ahead. Who knew how many people had already entered before them? Those who needed to scout ahead had already done so, and the demonic beasts that needed to be killed were basically all killed. Therefore, it would be very easy for them to walk ahead. Of course, other than Wang Haiyang. After all, he was carrying 2 bags. To him, the weight of the 2 bags was the same as nothing, but it was uncomfortable to carry them for a long time. However, he still foolishly thought that Lin Xian was really teaching him how to pick up girls. The temperature has reached 50 degrees. Han Chuxue took out her phone and glanced at it. 50 degrees Celsius is considered light. We've only just entered. 50 degrees Celsius is a temperature that ordinary people can temporarily withstand. However, I don't know how many degrees Celsius we Thunder Tribulation realm cultivators can withstand. Murong Qing said, if you're in the Thunder Retribution realm, it's not a problem to use spiritual power to resist hundreds of degrees. It just depends on how long your spiritual power can last. I still have some spirit recovery pills that Linglong Shui gave me. I'll use them when I can't hold on any longer. This place was actually better for Han Chuxue than for the others because she was of the ice attribute. Lin Xian was also of the ice attribute, but he was too lazy to release his ice attribute power to lower the temperature. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. That's right, they had been walking for 3 hours. Including the driving time, it was already 3:00 in the morning. In the past 3 hours, they had only encountered a few people and a few fire attribute demonic beasts. However, this was a place that had already been explored by others. In fact, It was meaningless. Therefore, they kept moving forward. They didn't know whether they were underground or inside the mountain range. It was really complicated inside. Moreover, wasn't the space a little too big? As for the temperature, the deeper they went, the higher it was. However, there was no sudden increase. The current temperature was about 70 degrees Celsius. 70 degrees Celsius was hot enough to kill people. It was a place that was completely unbearable. However, for martial artists, it was not a big problem even if they didn't release their spiritual power. After all, they were in the Thunder Retribution realm. If they couldn't withstand the temperature that was 20 degrees higher than the 50 degrees Celsius that ordinary people could withstand, then what was the Thunder Retribution realm? The oxygen was a lot less, but it was not a big problem for the time being. Bang! At this time, Wang Haiyang's but directly exploded. F***ck. Wang Haiyang frowned and subconsciously jumped. Everyone looked over. There was a hole in his pants, but a large part of it was black. The cell phone in his pocket couldn't withstand the high temperature and directly exploded. Fortunately, they all secretly put their cell phones into their spatial spirit tools. However, they had it because their identities were not simple. However, Wang Haiyang didn't have it. Does it hurt? Lin Xian asked while holding back his laughter. How could Wang Haiyang appear weak in front of Han Chushue and the others? Then he coughed and said, I miscalculated. I shouldn't have brought my cell phone in. It doesn't matter. You guys should quickly throw away your cell phones too. Otherwise, I'm afraid they will explode. Lin Xian smiled and shook his head. It's okay. We bought explosion-proof phones. Wang Haiyang was dumbfounded. What was an explosion-proof phone? However, he didn't ask much. There's movement in front. 3 hours was enough to show how big the Holy Dragon Flame Cave was. Moreover, the area in front had been explored. They advanced without any obstacles, so it was relatively easy for them to close the distance with the people in front. Then, Lin Xian and the others walked over. Then, they found a large group. That's right, there were nearly 1,000 people in front. At the same time, a fiery red light appeared in front of them. These people seemed to be trapped here. Then, Lin Xian and the others hurried over. The appearance of these people didn't attract much attention. What attracted their attention was the appearance of the three beauties. Sometimes, being too beautiful wasn't a good thing. It was too easy to attract attention. There seems to be no road ahead, Ling Ying said. Then, they went over. The entrance was a passage. It was quite wide, about 7 or 8 meters. They had always been moving in this type of passage. However, in front of them was a huge space. It was like a huge mountain, but the inside of the mountain was hollow. That's right, this was the feeling. This seemed to be the biggest volcano. They stood at the edge of the mountain. In front of them was a cliff. Dozens of meters below was scorching magma. If they fell, even if they were in the heavenly venerable realm, they would be turned into ashes. That's right, it was the lava that was blocking the path of these people. It was estimated that there was another cave 400 to 500 meters away. However, these 400 to 500 meters were suspended in the air. There was no bridge or anything like that. Since they couldn't swim through the lava, they weren't willing to leave just like that. Some of them had even stayed here for half a day, waiting for something. What were they waiting for? They were waiting to see if someone would appear behind them and send them in. Otherwise, they would have left long ago. Lin Xian swept his gaze across the area. There were about 1,000 people around him, and all of them were in the lightning tribulation realm. There were also some in the law realm, and only a few were in the domain realm. There were no existences above the domain realm. Chapter 674. These people, even if they were in the grand domain realm, were trapped here. The reason was simple. They couldn't fly across a chasm that was 400 to 500 meters wide. Without the space attribute and flying spirit tools, even if you were in the grand domain realm, you wouldn't be able to cross it. Let's go over, Ling Ying said to Lin Xian. They knew that Lin Xian had the space attribute.
Under such circumstances, it would be easy for him to cross it.
Don't be anxious. This is a great opportunity to make money. We can't lose it. Lin Xian said with a smile. Make money? The few of them were taken aback. You're thinking about money. Ling Ying couldn't help but roll his eyes at Lin Xian. Who would complain about having more money, right? Morong Qing smiled and nodded. That's true. But how are you going to make money? Lin Xian smiled and walked out. Cough, cough. Everyone. Lin Xian said. In this relatively quiet situation, everyone's gazes turned to look at Lin Xian. I believe that everyone is also blocked by the lava chasm in front of you. You are all worried and troubled here, right? What do you think? Someone said unhappily. Wasn't it right in front of their eyes? Lin Xian smiled and said, however, I also know that you don't want to leave so unwillingly. So, you're waiting here for a way to cross. Now, I have good news for you. The person you're waiting for is here. Yes, it's me. The girls. This bastard was getting more and more flamboyant. Isn't that Han Chuxue and the others? Not far away, two figures stood there. It was Gong Sun Jun and Xiao Xinyue. Gong Sun Jun looked over and recognized them at a glance. Although he was indeed pursuing Xiao Xinyue, who wouldn't care about beautiful women, he naturally knew Ling Ying and Han Chuxue. Oh, Wang Haiyang is here too. Gong Sun Jun's lips curled up. Now that he had successfully wooed his goddess, he looked at Wang Haiyang. What a miserable man. He was still licking the girls' boots and carrying 2 bags. It was obvious that he was helping them carry the bags. What a miserable man. Xiao Xinyue looked at Lin Xian, who was talking. She didn't know this person, but she knew Wang Haiyang, Han Chuxue, and the others. The person who was talking seemed to be with them. They were also trapped here, and there was really no other way. There were only 2 ways to get out of here, and that was to use a flying spirit artifact or the power of space. Although this flying spiritual tool was rare, she also had one, but she didn't usually use it. She didn't even know where she put it. It would take 10 hours to go back and forth, so she might as well wait here. Although Lin Xian was well known in St. Brilliant's Academy, not many people had seen him before, so even if they saw him, they wouldn't recognize him. What do you mean? Someone asked Lin Xian. That's easy. I can send you there. You. When they saw Lin Xian's youthful appearance, they couldn't believe it. Aren't you waiting here for a cultivator with the power of space? That's me. Lin Xian said with a smirk. Then release your power of space and let us see. Lin Xian snapped his fingers, and the person who was talking disappeared and appeared in another place more than 10 meters away. Seeing was believing. Seeing was believing. Seeing this scene, everyone was pleasantly surprised. After waiting for so long, they finally got what they wanted. Xiao Xinyue's beautiful eyes also lit up. It seemed that they could save a lot of time. Gong Sun Jun frowned. This person couldn't be Lin Xian, right? Although he didn't know him, he had heard that this student called Lin Xian had the power of space, and that he had beaten Liao Zhibang. If he came with them, then it must be him. Brother, I'll have to trouble you to send us there. Thank you. Everyone surrounded Lin Xian. Lin Xian said with a smile, sure, 10,000 yuan per person. Everyone, TSK, there really are all kinds of people. A cultivator with the power of space is actually greedy for such a small amount of money. After hearing this, Gong Sun Jun sneered. Lin Xian had some status in his heart. After all, he had beaten up Liao Zhibang, and with the power of space, he was indeed not weak. But now, so what if he wasn't weak? What a good-for-nothing guy. 10,000 yuan was nothing to these powerhouses in the Thunder Tribulation realm and above. But, if they didn't have a spatial spirit tool or didn't have the power of water or ice, they couldn't bring their phones over. Like Wang Haiyang, their phones would explode. Brother, it's so hot here. Many of us didn't bring our phones. Who would bring 10,000 yuan in cash when they go out? Send us over first, and I'll give you 5 times the amount when we get out. Yes, 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 I'll give you 5 times the amount too. Lin Xian said with a smile, if you don't have money, then exchange it with something of equal value. Otherwise, just wait. Come, 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 whoever wants to go over, line up in front of us and pay. After paying, I'll send you over immediately. I'll do it, I'll do it. A man ran in front of Lin Xian and took out his phone from his spatial spirit tool. The phone wouldn't explode in this temperature for a short period of time. Then, he sent 10,000 yuan to Lin Xian. The transaction is complete. Pa Lin Xian snapped his fingers, and the man disappeared. Everyone saw that he had already appeared on the other side 400 to 500 meters away. The man couldn't wait to run in. I'll pay too. One by one, they paid and were sent to the front by Lin Xian. Not long after, about 200 people had passed. The rest didn't bring their phones or money. Brother, this jade is worth 30,000 yuan, is that okay? A man came over with a piece of jade. Of course. Lin Xian took the jade and sent him over. Hey, they've all gone over. Then they've already taken all the good things in front. Why are you letting them go over? Let's just go to ours. Wang Haiyang reminded Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, before them, there must have been some capable people who had gone over. If there were any good things, they would belong to those people and not them. Moreover, we don't know what dangers lie ahead. The more people there are, the more they can help us settle some things. At the very least, they can die for us, right? Do you think it's necessary to let them go over? Wang Haiyang pondered. That makes sense. Lin Xian wasn't doing this just to make money. Going to a dangerous place where no one knew what was going on, the more people there were, the better. As for the good things, Lin Xian also believed that there would be very few of them. Come, come, come. Who else wants to go over? It's now or never. A pretty girl walked over. I spent 200,000 yuan on this necklace. If I give it to you, can you give me 19,000 yuan? Lin Xian shook his head. No, I don't support the change. Then, she really had no choice. She couldn't just go back and take 10,000 yuan in cash, right? She couldn't go back and forth for a few hours. Then, she could only give the necklace worth 200,000 to Lin Xian in exchange for the right to go forward. Chapter 675. Time passed slowly, and 2 figures walked over. It was Gong Sun Jun and Xiao Xinyue. If he had a choice, why would Gong Sun Jun be willing to come here to ask for help? Isn't this brother Gong Sun? You're here too. Wang Haiyang saw Gong Sun Jun and immediately greeted him with a smile. Gong Sun Jun nodded. I didn't expect to see you here. You're all schoolmates and friends. It's fate. Then, he looked at Lin Xian and asked, this brother should be Lin Xian, right? Lin Xian nodded, yes. Nice to meet you. I've heard about you a long time ago. I didn't expect to meet you here. Lin Xian smiled and didn't say anything. Then, Gong Sun Jun quickly said, let me introduce you. This is my girlfriend, Xiao Xinyue. He glanced at the 3 beauties behind Lin Xian. They were comparable to Xiao Xinyue, and he was shocked. He had seen Ling Ying and Han Chuxue before, but the other girl was also beautiful. Unfortunately, they weren't Lin Xian's girlfriends, so Gong Sun Jun still won. Lin Xian looked at Xiao Xinyue. Xiao Xinyue didn't have much of a reaction. Then, Lin Xian nodded. On the other side, Wang Haiyang secretly gritted his teeth. He really managed to get Xiao Xinyue. F***CK. At this time, Xiao Xinyue took out her phone. There was a thin layer of ice on the outside of her phone. It seemed that she also had the ice attribute. 20,000 yuan. Sorry to trouble you. Xiao Xinyue said lightly. Then, she scanned Lin Xian's QR code, but she frowned slightly. Because it wasn't a payment code, but Lin Xian's own QR code. That meant that she could add him as a friend by scanning it. No one saw the content on her phone. Xiao Xinyue hesitated for a moment, then added him as a friend. Then, she sent him a 20,000 yuan red packet. Lin Xian smiled slightly. After all, it was a mission target. He had to treat it differently. I received too much money today, so I don't support non-friend payments. Lin Xian said to Xiao Xinyue, which could be considered as an explanation. Xiao Xinyue nodded slightly. Everyone else was confused. What were they talking about? Then I'll add you as a friend. I'll pay for it. Xinyue, use your phone to log into my WeChat. Gong Sun Jun said. He still didn't know that they had added each other as friends. We'll talk about it later. I'll send you there first. Then, Lin Xian sent the two of them over. Xiao Xinyue landed in front of him and frowned. Why didn't he say that she had already transferred the money to him? Did he not want Gong Sun Jun to know that he had added him as a friend? That was right. Men were all the same. They were annoying. However, out of politeness, since he had helped them, she hesitated for a moment and did not delete him. On the other side, Lin Xian had basically gotten all the items from the 1,000 people. Most of them did not bring their phones or money, but they definitely had valuable items on them. Most of them were worth more than 10,000 yuan, and some were even worth hundreds of thousands. However, if they missed this opportunity, they would not be able to find it again. Furthermore, more and more people had already gone over, and they were also anxious. In the end, they had no choice but to pay more than 10,000 yuan in exchange for the right to go over. I've earned no less than 20 million yuan this time. Lin Xian calculated for a moment. This was still considered a small amount of money? 20 million yuan. Even if there were 1,000 people, and each of them had 10,000 yuan, that would be 10 million yuan. The key was that some people had items worth hundreds of thousands, and even tens of thousands. When the time came, they could casually go to a pawn shop and pawn it. Even if the value was much lower, it was still much more than 10,000 yuan. This was a huge profit. I'm impressed. Ling Ying secretly touched his forehead. The Art Pavilion Group's daily turnover was 1 billion yuan, and this was just the situation in Lin and City. When the time came and they expanded, it would be even more exaggerated. There was probably no family on Sky Blue Planet that could compete with them in terms of wealth. Even the Wang family, who had the most wealth, could not. Because a city earning 1 billion yuan in a day. How exaggerated was that? What about 100 cities, or 1,000? Not to mention other things, and not to mention the time it would take to develop and become profitable. If everyone bought one city first, the money earned would be incomparable to that of the Wang family. However, this bastard had wasted so much time here for 20 million yuan, and he was still feeling complacent. Well, after all, it was not just for the money. Wouldn't it be better to have someone in front to explore the road ahead? Let's not rush. Drink some water. I also need to recover my spiritual power. Lin Xian said. Okay. Then they rested for a moment. Ling Ying. Han Chushue suddenly shouted, and then Ling Ying went over. Damn. Lin Xian, Sister Qing, come and see. Ling Ying hurriedly said. Lin Xian, Murong Qing, and Wang Haiyang behind them walked to the edge of the cliff and looked down. What did they see? Under the fiery red magma, there was a black shadow swimming in the magma. Obviously, this black shadow was a demon beast. It was more than 10 meters long, and its appearance was not accurate. It looked like a giant snake, but there were some other parts. Anyway, it was just a faint shadow. Gulp, they suddenly felt a chill on their backs. They looked for a few seconds, and the black shadow disappeared. It probably drilled deeper into the magma. Everyone looked at each other. Are we still going in? Ling Ying asked Lin Xian. Lin Xian looked at Murong Qing. No one had seen this scene before, or it would have been posted on the internet. They just happened to see it. What kind of demon beast can swim freely in the magma? Lin Xian asked. Murong Qing pondered for a moment. In fact, the temperature of the magma is generally not high, about 1,000 degrees. 1,000 degrees can instantly turn a person into ashes, but if it's a martial artist, they can release their spiritual power to resist. A Thunder Tribulation Realm martial artist can resist for a few seconds. In other words, a Thunder Tribulation Realm martial artist can survive for a few seconds after falling into the magma. A Lore Realm martial artist is not much higher than a Thunder Tribulation Realm martial artist. A Domain Realm martial artist can resist for a period of time, but this is only in theory. After all, even a Celestial Venerable Realm martial artist would not dare to swim in the magma. Then, Morong Ching continued, for fire attribute demon beasts, they have a natural immunity to fire. However, most demon beasts only cultivate in places like this with abundant fire attribute energy. They can't cultivate in magma. I think only a fire attribute domain realm demon beast can do something like that in the magma. In other words, at least the domain realm. Lin Xian said. Morong Ching nodded. Then let's continue forward. At least one point shows that there might even be domain realm demon beasts in this place. This means that there must be a spiritual item of heaven and earth here that can attract domain realm demon beasts. It's definitely not an ordinary item. At least, the shadow just now was definitely not a dragon. Okay. Morong Ching nodded. Wang Haiyang was dumbfounded. They already knew that there might be domain realm demon beasts here. How could they dare to enter? Were they crazy? Chapter 676. Wang Haiyang was also helpless. He wanted to run the moment he saw the shadow, but Han Chuxue and the others were here. If he ran away, he would never be able to catch up with them in this lifetime. But what gave them the confidence to go in? Yes, the space attribute was powerful, but the strength was still there. He didn't know that there was a time attribute heavenly venerable here. No one would have thought that Morong Ching, who looked so young and beautiful, was actually an Empyrean with the time attribute. Let's go. Lin Xian released his power and sent them to the other side. Are you happy to have added a beauty's WeChat? Ling Ying and Han Chuxue walked in front. Wang Haiyang was next to Han Chuxue. Lin Xian and Morong Ching were at the back. Morong Ching smiled and asked Lin Xian. Ahem, beautiful sister, what do you mean by that? I don't understand. You dare say you didn't add that beautiful girl's WeChat? Lin Xian scratched his head. How did you know? Lin Xian asked quietly and shushed her, signaling her not to be too loud. Morong Ching smiled and said, There's nothing wrong with other people transferring money to you, but when it was her turn, I heard the sound of a WeChat message, so I guessed. Lin Xian was speechless. This woman was too smart. If he had such a smart woman as his girlfriend, would it be a blessing or a disaster? Being beautiful and having a good figure was indeed a blessing, but he couldn't have any thoughts of cheating. Otherwise, he would be found out, and that would be a disaster. Ahem, Lin Xian coughed and said, I told you, the amount has reached the limit today. You can only transfer money if you add a friend. Really, look at my sincere eyes. After that, Lin Xian winked at Morong Ching. I don't care. Morong Ching shrugged her shoulders slightly. But Lin Xian also had to explain, because Morong Ching was also his mission target. Who the F***CK could resist this? As they walked forward, 1,000 people were already clearing a path for them, so as long as they walked through the place, it would be safe. In this complicated place, there were countless passageways in front of them. It was like a maze, so the people in front must have split up. But now that they were here, who knew what would happen behind them? Therefore, Lin Xian felt that there was nothing wrong with letting the people in front of him scout the way. This was how it was in the outside world. Human lives weren't important. Either none of them died, or if they didn't die, you would die. There was no other way. This was a very normal phenomenon. You couldn't always consider the safety of these cultivators when you were outside, right? That would be a fool. This was completely different from fighting against the demon race for the sake of the human race. This is... The three people in front stopped. Lin Xian and Morong Ching moved closer. This is the corpse of a young golden crystal fire beast. I didn't expect there to be one here. Perhaps it's not simple. Morong Ching was very knowledgeable. Seeing this scene, she frowned. The golden crystal fire beast was a kind of demonic beast with a fiery red body. Its appearance was similar to a cat, but it only had one eye. Lin Xian also knew a little about this golden crystal fire beast. The golden crystal fire beast is a demonic beast with a higher bloodline. According to records, the strongest demonic beast can reach the absolute void realm. It can transform into a human form. Any demonic beast that can transform into a human form is not weak. The golden crystal fire beast almost always lives in a small clan in an area. Since there are golden crystal fire beasts here, it means that there are more inside. Moreover, this one is just a young one. There will definitely be adult golden crystal fire beasts inside, and their strength will not be lower than the domain realm. Murong Qing said. Lin Xian said, in such a big place, if there are demonic beasts with such a bloodline, there will definitely be more. This golden crystal fire beast has been dead for half a day. It should be killed by the first batch of experts. No one knows if they are still alive. Therefore, the danger level inside is higher than we thought. Are we still going? Wang Haiyang asked. He was panicking. Why did he come here? Really, if he was given another chance to choose, he definitely wouldn't come. Flirting? There were plenty of chances. Why did he have to do it now? He might even lose his life. Young Master Wang, are we leaving? Lin Xian asked. How is that possible? I'm just asking for your opinion. Wang Haiyang smiled bitterly. Let's go. There are so many people in front who have already paved the way for us. Why don't we go? Lin Xian said. Of course, let's go. Then, they continued to walk forward. There were many branches. They were just trying their luck. Along the way, they saw some corpses of demonic beasts and human cultivators. It was quite normal for them to die here. In such a temperature, the corpses were almost cooked. It was especially disgusting. Ah! Suddenly, a scream came from the front. Lin Xian and the others looked at each other and then rushed forward. In front, a total of 11 people were fighting a demonic beast. It could be seen that the demonic beast was very terrifying. The temperature of the flames was not lower than magma at all. One of the cultivators, who should be the one who screamed just now, was holding his arm. His entire right arm had melted into a liquid that looked like magma and dripped down. It seemed that he was attacked by the demonic beast. One had to know that this was a cultivator in the Thunder Tribulation realm. Fortunately, only his arm was hit. If it was his whole body, wouldn't he be dead? Thinking of this, Lin Xian saw a girl being hit by a terrifying fireball spat out by the demonic beast. When the dust settled, her body was gone. That's right, it was completely melted. Run. This demonic beast is too terrifying. Seeing this scene, the others had no courage to fight at all. Their realms were indeed in the Thunder Tribulation realm, but even if they released their elemental power, it did not do much damage to the demonic beast. Blazing golden crystal beast. Its realm is close to the law realm. Murong Qing said. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Just as she finished speaking, Lin Xian, Ling Ying, and Han Chuxue had already rushed over. Hey, you guys be careful. Its flames can melt you in an instant. Murong Qing sighed. The three of them were really boorish. However, she was not worried. It did not matter if she did not fight. She could temporarily protect them. The time attribute was not a joke. Gulp, Wang Haiyang swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Fight. Not fight. What if he died? If he did not fight, wouldn't he be a coward? Chapter 677. In front of them, those people had just run away when they suddenly realized that someone was charging at the golden crystal beast. Then, they moved to a relatively safe place to watch the battle. To be honest, who would want to leave just like that? Moreover, even if they left, they wouldn't be able to cross the lava chasm. Whoosh! Han Chuxue swung her sword at the golden flame crystal beast. Wherever the sword passed, the ground, the walls, and the surroundings were all frozen. Boom! the golden crystal beast condensed a fireball and shot it over, colliding with Han Chushue's energy. The two forces collided, ice and fire collided, and a powerful force erupted. Seeing this, Wang Haiyang decisively chose not to participate in the battle. He was only a 3-star lightning tribulation realm cultivator, a bit weaker than them. Facing the golden crystal beast that was close to the law realm, he had no power at all. Whoosh! Lin Xian took advantage of this opportunity to flash to the golden crystal beast's side and release his 5 lightning constellation. Terrifying lightning bombarded the golden crystal beast. What a powerful lightning attribute energy! Everyone couldn't help but exclaim. It wasn't that the lightning attribute energy was strong, but that the 5 lightning constellations grade was higher. Wang Haiyang was stunned. Lightning attribute? He had the lightning attribute? He had both the space and lightning attributes? They were both F*King humans, but why was there such a huge difference? However, the golden crystal beast's reputation was not in vain. The 5 lightning constellation didn't cause much damage to it, and that was partly because its realm was higher than Lin Xian's. However, it really didn't cause any substantial damage. This was too exaggerated. Whoosh! The golden crystal beast opened its mouth and spat out terrifying flames at Lin Xian. Fortunately, Lin Xian had the space attribute and could easily dodge it. However, although the golden crystal beast's flames were dodged by Lin Xian, it directly attacked Ling Ying. Ling Ying frowned. Just like the space attribute, she disappeared from the spot. The darkness attribute was also worthy of its reputation. The golden crystal beast's attacks were fruitless. Its eyes glowed red and a red laser shot toward Han Chushue. Han Chushue was caught off guard. After all, she didn't have the space and darkness attributes. In the distance, Murong Qing slightly released her power. Time deceleration. That's right, she had used time deceleration on the blazing golden crystal beast. The laser beam would have hit Han Chushue, but because the time around it had been slowed down, the speed of the laser beam was also slowed down. Han Chushue easily dodged it. At the same time, the sword in her hand emitted a blue light and a cold shadow, and another terrifying cold sword energy slashed out. Time acceleration. Murong Qing had sped up Han Chushue's time flow. The golden crystal fiery beast could have blocked this attack, but the sudden acceleration of time caused the sword energy, which should have taken 0. 5 seconds to reach the beast, to pass in 0. 5 seconds. Ka, the golden crystal blazing fire beast was instantly sealed in ice. Therefore, it was more and more difficult to fight against high-level beasts. Other things that one could do, such as Han Chushue's ice seal, were even more difficult to hit against high-level beasts. It was not that one was weak, but the beasts were strong. Taking advantage of being frozen, the 3 of them went all out. Extreme Thunder Sky Flash. Lin Xian rushed over and released the lightning sword formation, Extreme Thunder Sky Flash, around the golden crystal fiery beast. Ling Ying's sword shadows appeared around him, and thousands of arrows pierced his heart. When the ice seal dissipated, the golden crystal fiery beast was reduced to a corpse. Ding! You have leveled up to Lightning Tribulation Realm. The system notification rang in Lin Xian's mind. I'm so sorry, but I killed it in the end. Lin Xian blushed and said. Ling Ying and Han Chushue put away their swords and rolled their eyes at him. In the demonic beast domain, experience was an especially precious thing. Some people might be of the same trade, but they might fight over a demonic beast's experience. Even friends might fall out with each other. However, Lin Xian and Ling Ying wouldn't be like that. After all, they weren't ordinary friends. What was the meaning of rolling their eyes? It wasn't that she blamed him, but why did he have to say such a small thing? Chushue, are you okay? Wang Haiyang quickly ran to Han Chushue and asked. Han Chushue shook her head. I feel that the 3 of you should be enough to deal with this demonic beast. I won't snatch it from you. We're all on the same side. However, I've been watching over you. If there's even the slightest bit of danger, I'll definitely take action at the first moment and ensure your safety. Wang Haiyang explained. Lin Xian held back his laughter. Men really sigh. hypocrite, look at how good he is. Han Chushue nodded slightly and said, thank you. She still had to be polite. Some of the 10 people who were still alive had the idea of retreating. After all, they had never encountered a demon beast of this level before. Moreover, it was too dangerous. Although the difference in cultivation level was not big, this demon beast could kill a warrior with a single demonic skill. However, after thinking about it, they could not cross the moat even if they retreated. They still had to rely on these few people. Moreover, these few people did not look weak. It should be a good choice to follow them. I didn't expect you to be so powerful. The younger generation will surpass us in time. Yeah. Back then, when I was your age, what was my cultivation level? It's really incomparable. Guys, let's go together. We can take care of each other. The 10 people came over and licked their lips. Lin Xian said, okay, let's go together and take care of each other. In such a dangerous place, it's always good to take care of each other. Ha, yeah, let's go together. Lin Xian's mouth curved. Take care of each other? Sure, but for Lin Xian, the value of these 10 people was more than simple thugs. When they encountered danger, they would also become the target of the beast. If they wanted to escape, these people might be able to buy them some time. Then, the group continued to move forward. In the intricate passage, they rarely encountered anyone. Moreover, the temperature was getting higher and higher. Everyone was soaked, and the oxygen was getting less and less. However, for them, it didn't matter if there was less oxygen, as long as there was enough. The sky was bright. Lin Xian didn't know how long they had been in there. They encountered some beasts and some people, but they still continued to move forward. I can't go on. 2 people who had been following them directly fell to the ground. It's too hot. I can't take it anymore. I've used up most of my spiritual power to resist the heat. You guys go, we're going back. They gave up. Even if they could continue to resist, they had been using up their spiritual power. If they encountered a beast, they would die. We can't do it either. Chapter 678. Lin Xian glanced at them and shrugged his shoulders. Then you can go back. After saying that, they continued to walk forward. The 10 people who followed them all chose to stop. They couldn't understand one thing. Everyone's cultivation level was similar, so how could they persist for so long? Indeed, Lin Xian and the rest wouldn't be able to hold on under normal circumstances. Only Murong Qing was fine, but why did she look fine? It was all thanks to Linglong Shui's spirit recovery pill. At least, it could ensure that her spiritual power was abundant. Murong Qing didn't need it, but Lin Xian, Ling Ying, and Han Chushue would take it. As for the miserable Wang Haiyang, young Master Lin, what are you eating? Wang Haiyang looked at the spirit recovery pill that Lin Xian stuffed into his mouth. Oh, candy. It's going to melt if you don't eat it. Eating a little in such an environment will help you relax. Wang Haiyang smiled bitterly. He was really *king considerate. Eating candy at this time? He couldn't hold on any longer. Fortunately, he had a spiritual tool that could restore spiritual power. Otherwise, he would have left long ago. However, he also wanted to give up, but he couldn't. If he gave up now, how could he pursue Han Chushue? Wang Haiyang then looked at Lin Xian. He was also sweating profusely, but he seemed to be quite relaxed. Wang Haiyang thought for a moment. This should also be a way to pick up girls. No matter what, he had to show the masculinity of a man. He could not admit defeat. It seemed that Lin Xian was also deliberately persevering. How could he give up? It was just that. At this moment, the 2 backpacks were like 2 small mountains in his eyes. *CK. It was too heavy. His mentality collapsed. What a strong smell of blood. Lin Xian originally wanted to taunt Wang Haiyang again, but suddenly, he sensed a thick stench of blood in the air. This space could be considered to be sealed. In a tunnel that extended in all directions, if there was any smell, coupled with a high temperature here, it would be very thick. Lin Xian then hurriedly walked forward. They stopped where they were. There were dozens of corpses in front of them. To be precise, these corpses were not piled up together. Instead, they formed a path. Some of them had fallen together, while some were more than 10 meters apart. They also understood why there was such a strong smell of blood. These people had died in a rather gruesome manner. They were bleeding from all orifices. Even Ling Ying, Han Chuxue, and the others couldn't help but feel disgusted when they saw this scene. Wang Haiyang had seen corpses before, but he had never seen something like this. Coupled with the thick smell of blood and the fear in his heart, he was about to collapse. If it weren't for Han Chuxue, he would have completely collapsed. But in the end, his reason told him that he couldn't collapse. He had to endure it. There are a few people here who seem to have paid me before. They died not long ago. Lin Xian glanced at them and said, "How did they die?" Ling Ying asked. "There are no external injuries, so I don't know." Step back. Lin Xian felt that something was wrong. If there were no external injuries, how did he die? Bleeding from their 7 orifices, it didn't seem like they were killed by demonic beasts. Then, Lin Xian activated his Eye of Cave Spirit. It didn't matter if he didn't activate it. But once he did, Lin Xian saw that something was wrong. Because in the air in front of this tunnel, under the investigation of the Eye of Cave Spirit, he saw some small things flying. They were flying very slowly, but they didn't seem like insects. Because their movements were more like tiny dust particles floating in the air. They could only move according to the airflow. Because Lin Xian and the others had stepped back, these tiny things that couldn't be seen with the naked eye were moving along with the airflow behind them. Lin Xian then looked back. There weren't any behind them, only this tunnel. "Let's change to another path," Lin Xian said. Then, they turned back and changed to another path. Although this path was connected in all directions, there were only a few paths that continued forward. They saw another tunnel. There were also some corpses, but there weren't as many as the previous one. However, this tunnel also had those indescribable little things flying. What was this? Lin Xian didn't know. He had never seen this before. "I say, beautiful sister, can you feel that something is wrong?" Lin Xian asked Murong Qing. Murong Qing's realm wasn't low, but she couldn't see these tiny things that couldn't be seen with the naked eye. She shook her head. Lin Xian said, "There is a kind of microorganism floating in the air. I've seen it. It can only be found in places with corpses. We shouldn't have seen it before. Plus, these corpses don't have any external injuries. I feel that it might be related to these floating microorganisms." "Microorganisms? How do you know?" Murong Qing asked doubtfully. Was this something that a person could detect without using any equipment? Lin Xian nodded and didn't explain. Murong Qing felt that this scene was indeed strange. Since Lin Xian said it, she didn't ask anymore. She carefully thought about it. "It can't be the Martian worm, right?" Han Chuxue suddenly said. "Martian worm? Chuxue, what is that?" Wang Haiyang asked. The others also looked at Han Chuxue. Han Chuxue said, "I've seen it before. The Mars bug is a very tiny creature. It can't fly, but because it's so tiny, it can float along with the flow of air. Once this tiny creature is sucked into the body, it will heat up in a short period of time. Even a heavenly venerable powerhouse will find it difficult to resist this internal damage and will die in a very short period of time. This is because the Mars bug can ignore a martial artist's defense when it is sucked into the body. Once it enters the body, it will enter the creature's weak point." "There is such a thing?" Lin Xian showed a surprised expression. Han Chuxue nodded. "Well, although this creature is small, its vitality is extremely strong. It can survive in extreme cold or high temperature. But there is one thing. As long as there is a Martian worm, there must be a powerful demon beast. The lowest level is a heavenly venerable demon beast, because most of the Martian worms live in such demon beasts." Lin Xian, This place was getting more and more dangerous. That is to say, there is a heavenly venerable demon beast here? Wang Haiyang swallowed a mouthful of saliva. If that is really a Martian worm, then there must be a heavenly venerable demon beast. Han Chushue said. Then let's go. A heavenly venerable demon beast is an existence that we can't stop. Wang Haiyang hurriedly said. He was completely terrified. Han Chushue looked at Lin Xian. Murong Qing said, as far as I know, there are many Empyrean powerhouses who came here before us. They are deeper in. It seems that there isn't much distance left. You decide whether to go in or go in. Chapter 679. Lin Xian pondered for a moment. His eye of cave spirit saw not only the Mars worms, but also the terrifying spiritual energy fluctuations in the depths. Intuition. No, the truth told him that there were real treasures inside. Go in. Lin Xian said. Han Chushue, Ling Ying, and Murong Qing smiled. They also wanted to go in, but when they heard Lin Xian say, go in, they smiled. This was what they wanted to see. There was no doubt that it was dangerous, but wasn't there Murong Qing, a heavenly venerable with the time attribute? Time was a terrifying attribute. So what if it was a heavenly venerable beast? If they couldn't beat it, they could just run. Moreover, they all wanted to go in. Hearing Lin Xian's words, Wang Haiyang completely collapsed. He didn't want to die. Women were important, but were they more important than his own life? At this moment, a voice came from behind them. Xinue, how many times have I told you? This place is dangerous. Let's just go in. Can't you see that the surrounding passages are filled with corpses? Let's go back and invite the two powerhouses to come back. You go, I'll wait for you. Xiao Xinue said indifferently. Why are you so stubborn? I'm thinking for your safety. As the two of them chatted, they walked over and happened to walk behind Lin Xian and the others. It's you guys? Gong Sun Jun was slightly stunned when he saw them. These people also came here? I say, the front is so dangerous. You guys still want to go in? Gong Sun Jun asked. Hearing Gong Sun Jun's words, coupled with his previous intentions, Wang Haiyang knew that he was going to back down. I feel that this place is very dangerous. We have to find a heavenly venerable powerhouse. I think we should wait for one and go in together. Wang Haiyang said. Oh. Young Master Wang, are you afraid? Lin Xian asked with a smile. How is that possible? I just don't want to put everyone in danger, especially Chushue. They felt awkward when they heard this. How about this? Let's wait for a while. Wang Haiyang said. Gong Sun Jun looked at Xiao Xinue and said, that's right. We'll come again. Xinue, it's fine if we're late. Xiao Xinue's beautiful eyes looked at the corpse in front of her. She seemed to have some confidence. The most important thing was that they were too scared. That's right. Although women are important, what's the use if you lose your life? Lin Xian was different. He knew that he had a heavenly venerable realm powerhouse with him, so he wasn't afraid. Otherwise, Lin Xian would probably be the same as these two. For safety's sake, of course. However, Han Chushue and Ling Ying would certainly listen to him. If he wanted to leave, they would definitely leave. However, Xiao Xinue and Gong Sun Jun were different. She had her own thoughts, and it was impossible for her to be influenced by Gong Sun Jun. How about this, young Master Wang? Why don't you go to the back and look for reinforcements for us? We'll go in first. When we find reinforcements, you can bring them over to support us. How about that? Lin Xian said to Wang Haiyang. In fact, Wang Haiyang was very happy. It was much better if he didn't say it out loud. However, he still pretended to be hesitant. No, I must stay with you guys. Only then can I be more assured. Wang Haiyang said. That's right. Xinue, don't go in first. Isn't it better if we find some powerhouses to go in together? Gong Sun-jun also said. He had just caught up with Xiao Xinyue and hadn't even held her hand. He didn't want anything to happen to Xiao Xinyue inside. Of course, he didn't want to die inside. However, he couldn't stop Xiao Xinyue. He didn't dare to go in. This was the most embarrassing thing. The smell of blood in front of him and the corpses in front of him all shook his heart. Everyone was afraid of death, especially those who came from an outstanding family. They were even more afraid of death because they had more. If they died, they would lose everything. They were even more reluctant to part with it. Then let's go in together, Lin Xian said. Alu? Wang Haiyang was stunned. Go in. F***ck. If he knew this would happen, he wouldn't have acted so pretentiously. Then what? Wang Haiyang suddenly said. Is there anything else? I think it's best to wait for the powerhouses to go in together. After all, there are heavenly venerable realm demonic beasts inside. Brother Gong Sun-jun, what do you think? What? Heavenly venerable realm demonic beasts? Gong Sun-jun showed a shocked expression. Yes. Heavenly venerable realm demonic beasts. If there are no heavenly venerable realm powerhouses, wouldn't it be suicide to go in? Gong Sun-jun swallowed a mouthful of saliva. He originally thought that he might be able to go deeper with Xiao Xinyue, but now he didn't dare to. Xiao Xinyue didn't seem to be surprised. It was as if she already knew that there would be heavenly venerable realm demonic beasts inside. Gong Sun-jun then looked at Xiao Xinyue and said, Xinyue, did you hear that? There are heavenly venerable realm demonic beasts inside. You can't go in. Listen to me. Let's find 2 heavenly venerable realm powerhouses and then go in together. Go ahead. I'll wait for you inside, Xiao Xinyue said and walked straight to the path of corpses. Hey, Xinyue. Xiao Xinyue didn't respond. Gong Sun-jun then quickly shouted, Then you must be careful. I'm going to find a heavenly venerable realm powerhouse now. Lin Xian smiled and said, Then let's go in too. After saying that, the few of them also walked in. Young Master Lin, Chushue, I'm going to find a powerhouse too. I'll definitely find one. Take this bag with you. Wang Haiyang threw the bag to Lin Xian. Lin Xian waved his hand and then walked in. Hoo! Wang Haiyang and Gong Sun-jun both took a deep breath. They felt like they were out of danger. However, they were unwilling. What if the woman they liked really died inside? Young Master Wang, let's go find a powerhouse together. Gong Sun-jun said. Okay, let's go back. They were indeed going to find a powerhouse, but whether they could find one or not was uncertain. They really cared about the girl inside, but compared to their own lives, it didn't seem important. It was better to protect their own lives first. Hey, beauty! Lin Xian called Xiao Xinyue from behind. Ling Ying rolled his eyes, extremely unhappy. It was normal for a guy to call a girl a beauty, but this Xiao Xinyue was indeed too beautiful. However, after thinking about it, he let it go. After all, she had a boyfriend. What's the matter? Xiao Xinyue stopped. This passage is very dangerous, Lin Xian said. Xiao Xinyue nodded, then took out a mosquito coil. Mars bugs are bugs. They're the most afraid of these things. She touched the wall for a while, and the scorching temperature ignited the mosquito coil. Then, Lin Xian could see with his eye of spiritual insight that the Mars bugs were trying their best to fly away, but they couldn't. Then, one by one, they fell to the ground. This Xiao Xinyue was quite something. She actually knew there were Mars bugs here? Moreover, could these Mars bugs be destroyed so easily? You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.